Benji, if you had a DJ name, what would your DJ name be?
What would my DJ name be?
Yeah.
Ben.
But can I capitalize it?
Yes. Of course.
I'm DJ Swissy Swiss.
Swissy Swiss?
Yeah.
I feel like Lil Alfredo's, I know it's your rapper name, but it works as a DJ name too.
DJ Lil Alfredo?
I think just Lil Alfredo. They don't all say DJ at the beginning. Only DJ Union Max does that, and DJ Lucas Scent.
Wasn't there a third one?
We'll get to that.
I think it should have DJ. I think if you don't have DJ, are you a real DJ?
Well, I know what my DJ name would be.
What?
DJ Khaled. I'm pretty sure that's not taken yet.
Welcome, everybody, to the DCOM Duo podcast.
We're the DCOM duo.
I'm Kelsey.
I'm Benji.
We're the DCOM Duo.
You're listening to the DCOM duo.
I literally almost said I'm Benji.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Because I feel like you usually go first.
I do. I don't know who goes first, but that's just, I usually think whoever says the line first of, like, leading into it. I don't know.
But I don't know. It felt more right to say I'm Benji, but I caught myself before it happened.
Well, I'm glad you didn't say you or me and confuse the audience. I know our voices are very similar, so we have to do that call out at the beginning. Otherwise, people won't be able to identify us.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck are we? No one knows.
No one knows. So, all of this intro is to say we like Spin.
We watch Spin, and yeah. Spoiler alert, we really like this one.
Spin is good.
It is good.
We could honestly end the podcast there.
It's good, and you should watch it.
I think I said in the preview for this last week, but Spin is one of a handful and like only maybe 5 movies in the entire Disney Channel library that I think is unironically good.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ironically good Disney Channel movies.
Yeah.
This one is unironically good.
It is actually like a good quality movie. It is still for kids.
And it is still tropey, and it still feels like the DCOM formula.
But they do it well, and they do it with quality.
And there is actual passion behind this film, and you can feel it.
You can tell.
Yeah.
A lot went into this movie, and it paid off. I feel like it also, I mean, it might help that it's a really, really modern.
Yeah.
You know, this came out in 2021.
Yep.
So it has that like higher quality feel because it's better technology. We're in 2021.
It doesn't look as bad as it did like early 2000s DCOMs. When you look at them visually, you're like, oh, these are not the highest quality of filmmaking, and the sets are worse and the camera angles are worse and everything. Like, technology has improved from that. But it feels like, even though this was still not a high budget film, you can still tell it's not a crazy high budget film. There was a lot of effort that went into the whole filmmaking process that, again, maybe we'll be able to identify faults in 10 years from now. But I feel like, compare this to the movie that came out like right after it, the Under Wraps remake.
Yeah, this is better.
This looks better.
It does. It looks better. I would say even, I don't know, I think I'm just going to say this now because I don't really have a good part to say it later. When they have like the phone stuff like projected, it's not like cheesy text bubbles or anything. I like the way they did it where it's like kind of see-through.
And that's a hard thing to get right. This is a weird thing to talk about now, but let's just talk about it now.
Yeah.
First 5 minutes, let's go.
Let's analyze.
First like 3.5 minutes for people watching on 1.5 times speed.
Yeah, we're just gonna analyze their like graphic design decisions.
Yeah, that's something where when we moved into the modern age, it became very obvious that, hey, we're gonna have to show text messages on screen in some capacity.
It's either
that's how humanity talks now.
Yeah, it's either you zoom in on the phone or you put it on the screen somehow.
And we're still like struggling as a film watching community to come to terms with how to best do this. Yeah. And the way this film does it is one of the better ones that you see.
I like the style that they chose.
Yeah. It feels more natural. The characters speaking in this movie act and feel and talk like actual people.
Yeah.
For the most part.
They do.
There's some people who are quirky, probably too much, but it's in an endearing way.
Yeah. I still like enjoyed it. You know, they weren't like oh my gosh, look at me, I'm quirky. Like, I actually enjoyed what they were saying and thought they were funny. So I don't know. That's me. Should we get into the factos?
Well, first, we should do our fan mail.
Oh yeah. Fan mail
Would you like
time.
to read the fan mail
I would
today?
love to read the fan mail. Just kidding, there is no fan mail. Somehow, I can't believe nobody wrote in for frenemies yet, even though, fun fact, we are recording this before frenemies has even dropped. But you guys should be on top of it. You should have wrote in before we even released the podcast. So
Shame
what
on
the
all
heck?
of you,
Shame on
honestly.
all of you. Like, get on top of your game. We're on top of our game recording ahead of time. So y'all should write in and just know that we were gonna do that.
You got to predict our every move.
So anyway, please write us.
We're lonely.
We're lonely. We want to hear your feedback. So if you want to reach out to us, you can email us at the decomduo@gmail.com.
What she said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, ready for some decom duo factos?
I think we are ready for the DCOM duo factos.
I actually kind of have a lot today,
Oh,
which
really?
I'm excited about because this movie was so recent that there's actually like facts written about it. And then people actually cared more about this one than like Hounded, you know? All right. Spin was released August 13th, 2021. That was 3 days after your birthday.
It is.
And also, fun fact, this was the first DCOM since starting the marathon that we watched the premiere of.
Yeah. If you knew our starting time of this, we started during the pandemic.
2020.
That probably makes sense. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we like heard there was a new DCOM coming out. We were so excited because we were like about a year in. I think
We were about
we were just
halfway.
about a year into our marathon. So we're like, oh my gosh, a new DCOM's coming out. We have to watch the premiere. We made it like a huge event in our house and we like ordered food probably and we watched the premiere and it was super exciting. And the movie ended up being good. So that was also
It was a
exciting.
good surprise.
Yeah. This is the 110th DCOM release.
Yeah. That's going to be our highest for a while until we just randomly and suddenly spin
Christmas again.
Christmas again. Yeah, I feel
Yeah.
like that because the Under Wraps will watch
Or
the
zombies,
early Under Wraps.
but we have to get through the other
Yeah,
zombies.
so this will probably be the most recent one for a while until at the end of this episode when we spin Christmas again.
That'll be fun. All right. Spin is directed by, and I am not going to be able to pronounce this correctly, so I apologize up front. Director is Manjari Makijani. Cool. She is an Indian writer, director, and producer. So from what I could tell, her debut movie was a Netflix movie called Skater Girl, which is about an Indian teen who skateboards. Or she's like from rural India.
So he was a boy, she was a girl.
From rural India. And can I make it any more obvious?
Yeah.
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 She's also worked on Wonder Woman, Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol, Dunkirk, and The Dark Knight Rises, just to name a few things.
Those are pretty big names.
Yeah. So she's like had her hand in a few things, and 2021's super recent, so obviously she can do a lot more.
Yeah. She's not retired, I assume.
No.
She didn't make spin and go, work is done. I am satisfied with life.
Yeah, no. All right, our cast. Our main character, Rhea, is played, again, sorry for this pronunciation. She is played by Avantika Vandunapu.
I think I remember seeing in the opening credits that I think her stage name is just...
It's just her first name.
Yeah. Avantika.
Yep. I saw that too. Yeah. She's in several Indian films. Apparently she was also in the movie Senior Year, which is that Rebel Wilson movie that came out in 2022.
Remember that existing?
Yeah, I never watched it either, but apparently she was in that. And she's also a dancer. Obviously, like, this movie's so recent, so she still has her whole career ahead of her. Mm-hmm. It's not like usually when we talk about the kid actors from, like, early 2000s, it's like, what have they done recently?
Like, did they do anything as adults? No, yeah.
It's like she's literally still a teenager / young adult. So, yeah. Max is played by Michael Bishop. Literally, he does not have a Wikipedia page. And he was not even listed in Google when you click on cast or spin. He wasn't there. I had to
Interesting.
dig a little bit to find his name. So, like, he hasn't done anything. He wasn't even listed on Google. What the heck? He's like the second biggest character of the movie.
Yeah.
And they didn't really
He's the
care.
villain. The twist
Well, the
villain.
twist villain. Yeah, he's the Hans from Frozen a bit. All right. The dad, Ria's dad, is played by Abhay Deol. He has worked on a lot of Hindi films as an actor and a producer. I couldn't
Gotcha.
like pinpoint any that I recognize, but he's
Are these
done some.
Bollywood films or they
What
uh,
I saw it said
Hollywood?
Hindi, but I'm assuming like Bollywood is probably accurate. I don't know. I didn't do that much research. Nani, who's the grandma, right? She is played by Mira Sial. She's actually been around quite a bit. She's done a lot as an actor and a writer. Like she had a ton of credits, not a ton that I recognize, but she's done a lot.
Okay.
Here's the ones I did recognize: Paddington 2.
Oh, one of the best films of all time.
I know,
Like genuinely, unironically.
I know. Paddington 2 is great. She was apparently in Doctor Strange and Yesterday, the Beatles movie. She was the mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yesterday, oh, I'm gonna give my quick 1 minute spiel on that
Yeah, do
movie.
it.
Ugh. Yesterday, I want to love that movie so bad, and I still like it,
Mm-hmm.
but it is so close to being like a great movie, but it's not
Because of the romance.
because of the romance. I feel like if they just dig into it as like a historical retrospective while digging into the concept of having a guilt trip. If you haven't seen the film, it's about a guy where he's the only person who remembers the Beatles existed
Yeah.
and starts re-releasing the Beatles music as his own
Mm-hmm.
and digging into that guilt and digging into
Imposter
imposter syndrome. I think that's fascinating and really interesting. And the film starts to do that. But that's all the B plot to the A plot of a very basic romance story that I did not care about.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. You know who else is in Yesterday? Ed Sheeran.
All right. Do you want to explain our Ed Sheeran?
I do. I really do. So we have a theory that Ed Sheeran is basically living the plot of Yesterday, but with an artist that we are just unaware of
Mhm.
because we are the general public that doesn't remember the Beatles or whoever this famous pop star was. And Ed Sheeran is actually just taking all of his songs. And like, think about it, Ed Sheeran is like famously not that attractive.
Like that is a famous thing known about him that people are
Yeah.
like, he doesn't look famous.
Yes, he is a talented singer, but I feel like people are like, oh, but his songs are incredible,
Mhm.
which like maybe he's stealing those songs. And I started thinking this because when Bad Habits came out, I was like, this fucking sucks. Like, Ed Sheeran doesn't sound the same. What is this pop song nonsense that like it didn't feel like Ed Sheeran? I'm like he ran out of songs.
I feel like there's a lot of interesting attitudes we could do for this theory as well because just adding on to it, his album before Equal was the collaboration album where he would collaborate with an artist theoretically because he remembered artists that were also forgotten with the Beatles.
Or he's just like desperate that he's running out of songs. So he's like, I'm gonna collab with this artist and we can come up with a song and then
Mhm.
I have to do less work.
Yeah, that's why there's an extreme shift in his tone of that. He was in the movie. He could have just been like doing it as a project to get rid of his guilt.
Yeah, what if he pitched it? But he's not telling people he pitched it because then people would catch on.
Yeah, just stay woke.
Ed Sheeran is a fraud, confirmed.
Yep.
Thank you for listening to our theory. Let's
Turn the
move on.
podcast off now.
This is just turned into a Ed Sheeran conspiracy theory podcast.
Please email us your favorite Ed Sheeran conspiracy theories.
All right, let's keep going with the cast. Ria's brother Rohan is played by Aryan Simhadri. He was in Trevor the Musical, the
Okay.
like recent one, so on stage. That's cool. And apparently Cheaper by the Dozen, but the 2022 one.
I think I heard that wasn't great, but that's most remakes, so I'm
It's
not
probably
good
not
at it.
great.
And honestly, Cheaper by the Dozen isn't that good either.
I never watched it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure your sister was like,
Oh yeah.
"What? You
Uh,
haven't watched Cheaper by the Dozen?"
Ben hasn't made you watch that yet, and then I'm like, It's not that good.
Thank you for not making me watch Cheaper by the Dozen.
Uh, she might do it eventually.
All right. Next, we have Molly, who is one of the friends. She is played by Anna Cathcart. She, of course, is in Descendants 2 and 3 as Dizzy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's where she pretty much got her start. She was credited a few other things, but like that was like a
She's
big
in the
deal.
Disney Channel ecosystem.
Yep. Apparently, she was also in the second and third movie of the To All the Boys franchise.
Oh yeah, I know
I've
that.
never watched those, but they're pretty famous Netflix films. So, not the first one, but the second and the third one. Same with Descendants. She's in the second and the
You
third one.
just can't start anything off except Spin, I guess. But I don't think they plan for any Spin sequel.
I don't think so. I don't know where they would really go from here. Where she's doing another contest? What? No, probably not. All right, next we have Watson, who's the one of the other friends. He's played by Jabril Cook. Literally, he's only credited in one other thing,
Yeah.
and it's a Netflix movie called A Week Away. But it's I just find it fascinating that like he's done Spin and A Week Away, and that's it. Nothing else.
It's pretty interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
Two-hit wonder.
Yeah, two hit wonder. I'm sure he'll do more later because again, this is so recent. So they have like their whole lives ahead of them. Okay, next we have Ginger. She is played by Carrie Metters. The only other like kind of big thing I saw was Bring It On, Cheer or Die.
Is that like a sequel to Bring It On?
There are many sequels to Bring It On.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't know that? I made Benji watch Bring It
Bring It
On
On's good.
one night. It is good. It is really good. It was a movie I really liked in my childhood, and I watched it with my sisters. And one day while living in Jank House, I was like, yo, let's watch Bring It On. And everyone enjoyed it. But there are many sequels to Bring It On that obviously are just not going to be as good.
No, I'm
I
surprised.
haven't seen
I'm
any of
surprised
them.
there's many. I'm not surprised that there's one. I'm surprised there's
It's
many.
like a whole franchise.
Is it just not the same characters ever again?
No, I don't think so. I've
Should-
never seen any of the other ones, but it's kind of like, all the Cinderella movies.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, they're just kind of our Cinderella movies. There are Bring It On movies.
Yeah, what? There's 3 Pinocchio movies in 1 year. There can be multiple Bring It On films.
Father, when can I leave to be on my own? I have the whole world to see. Well, you're not amused?
I was just thinking what you would do with some awkward silence off of that one.
Finally, we have Naomi, who is the teacher. She is played by Kiana Teresa. And it looks like she's done some like made-for-TV Christmas movies and not much else.
She did kind of strike me as a Hallmark actress, if that
Right?
makes sense. That totally fits my vibe with what she was giving me.
She has that flirty, like, let's go to dinner and like playfully flirt with each other, but also I'm like down to earth
Mm-hmm.
because she's like a businesswoman.
She's the girl
in the
next
town.
door.
Yeah.
But she also is the businesswoman who can do it all. Just the total package.
She has to go back to her hometown and she falls in love with the boy who works at a Christmas tree farm. That's probably a movie she's been in. I
would assume.
surprised. All right, time for the fun facts, which I actually have like the most I've ever had, so I'm really excited about this. Okay, Spin was originally going to be a Disney Plus original film, and then was redeveloped like kind of early stages to be a Disney Channel original.
I feel like you can kind of feel that because again,
It's better than
it's
a
better.
regular DCOM. Yeah,
More effort went into it.
I guess we're saying that Disney Plus stuff is better in general than Disney Channel stuff.
I think that's not necessarily true. I think there is a higher floor for Disney Plus originals because Disney's going to care more about bad Disney Plus originals flooding their program than they will care about flooding Disney Channel.
Yeah.
Because if it does bad on Disney Channel, they can just stop showing it.
Yeah. This was still like fairly early in Disney Plus though. I mean, not that Disney Plus is even really old because it's not. That's why like 2021 it still felt pretty early of like Disney Plus is just starting to get its footing and like releasing originals. So, yeah. In India, the film premiered on Disney Plus Hotstar and Disney International HD on August 15th, 2021 to coincide with Indian Independence Day.
Cool.
Yeah, isn't that cool? This was the first DCOM film since COVID. This was also the longest wait for a new Disney Channel original movie.
Those may be related.
Yeah, I wonder. It premiered a full year after Upside Down Magic, which is why also it felt so special that we were watching a premiere of a Disney Channel original movie, because it didn't even really dawn on us that that would still happen.
Yeah.
You know, because we started in the pandemic. Like, I wasn't thinking, like, oh, obviously there's going to be a bunch of new ones. Also, because I hadn't watched Disney Channel in so long. It's like, what? There's going to be a new one that's premiering? We have to watch it.
Like the pace of them had slowed down for sure since our childhood. There's not like 6 a year.
Yeah. No, that's not at all. And yeah, this came out a full year before the one before it.
It
So
was a very fun time. And
yeah,
watching commercials for kids are also fun.
it was fun. Yeah. Okay. Spin was part of Disney Channel's Friday the 13th is Fun Lucky Night.
Okay.
For me. So it was the 13th, so it was a Friday the 13th. That's fun.
Mm-hmm.
It aired immediately after the Disney Channel premiere of Toy Story 4, and it was also right before the premiere of Descendants: The Royal Wedding.
Yes. I think we'll wait to talk about Descendants Royal Wedding until we talk about like the Descendants franchise. Probably Descendants 3.
Yeah.
Make sure we talk about that. We'll give a bonus episode of that if we don't talk about it then.
We can do a bonus episode because it's like half an hour long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But long story short, that's very disappointing.
Yeah, I was so excited because we had a new DCOM coming out and we had another Descendants thing coming out, which I love Descendants. It's a like animated half-hour little short thing about Mel and Ben's wedding. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'll just end it here. I was super disappointed with it. So we'll talk about that another time. All right, finally, the film scored 535,000 viewers on its premiere night, making Spin the very first DCOM to score under 1 million viewers.
And that number probably has only decreased because, again, who has cable at this point?
Yeah, that's disappointing, though.
Yeah.
We were watching it.
Yeah.
But
boosted those numbers.
Yeah. Maybe with COVID and it had been so long since there was one. Or maybe people just weren't interested, which is a bummer. This one is really good and y'all are sleeping on Spin. Go watch Spin. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, we haven't gotten any emails about how good Spin is, so obviously everyone's sleeping on it.
I can't believe there's no emails literally flooding in right now, even though nobody knows that we're watching Spin because we haven't released Frenemies yet.
Yeah, this is why you have to prepare. You have to like have your entire thesis ready for why Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure is the best movie in the High School Musical franchise.
Yeah, and just send it at random intervals on the off chance that we've decided to watch Sharpay's Fabulous Adventure.
Which we won't do until we've watched the other 3 High School Musical films. Okay,
anytime after we've watched High School Musical.
No, but we could have. What if we just roll High School Musical 1, 2, 3, and 4 next in the next 4 days, and we record all those podcasts at once?
Y'all need to get on your shit.
Yeah, get ready.
We're saying.
Get ready.
Okay, you ready for the Disney Plus subscription?
No, I'm gonna grab my water.
Aw.
You can entertain the viewers. We're live right now.
A little bug on the wall, ching ching. No one to love him at all, ching ching. Name that show, viewers. It's Bluey.
You gave them time.
I gave them enough time.
Someone email.
Now are you ready for the Disney Plus subscription?
Got my water. Let's go.
Okay, cool. Rhea discovers her passion for creating DJ mixes that blend the rich textures of her South Asian culture and the world around her. Her life revolves around her eclectic group of friends, her after-school coding club, her family's Indian restaurant, and her tight-knit, multi-generational family. Everything changes when she falls for aspiring DJ Max, and her long-lost fervor for music is reignited. Rhea discovers that she has a natural gift for creating beats and producing music, but must find the courage to follow her true inner talent.
This sounds like a DCOM plot, alright?
Yeah, it really does.
If you just listen to the description, I wonder if they like draft up this plot as a Disney Plus original, and then someone looked at the plot and went, "You guys realize this is just the DCOM formula?" And they went like, "Oh, that makes sense."
Oh, girl learns to DJ,
but then has to choose between her different priorities in life and motives and
Yeah,
family.
boy learns to surfboard. No, not surfboard. Snowboard. He also surfs.
Yeah.
And must choose between skiing and snowboarding question
Why did Johnny Tsunami go to your mind?
It's like kid learns to do a hobby is what I was going
We
for.
learned in Frenemies there are 3 total plots in DCOMs. This is not actually true. There's probably like 2.
There's like the dog decom because that happens a bit.
Well, the dog DCOMs one where it's just like misunderstanding leads to chaos in a friend group.
Yeah. And then there's like the weird switching lives one. I don't know what that has
Well,
relation to
that one
any other
is your
one.
life isn't
Oh, your life
grass
isn't that
isn't
good.
always greener.
Yeah. And then this falls into the middle one, which was I'm doing my hobby, but have to choose
Between old hobby and new
and
hobby.
like friend fights a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that's this one for sure.
Those are the 3 DCOM plots.
I'm glad frenemies is so relevant to literally every other decom. That's good to know.
Why make one okay DCOM if you can make 3 awful ones?
All right, you ready to dive in?
Let's do a DCOM deep dive.
Decom deep dive, which is not our podcast. That's a different podcast again.
Yeah, we're the DCOM duo. In case you've forgotten, take a look like down on the bottom of your screen, probably the bottom of the screen. Maybe you're a weirdo who has it on the top of the screen.
Oh,
Which you know, no judging.
just look
Except
at
I
your
called you
screen
weirdo.
somewhere. Yeah, you did. All right. So, spin. We open it on a DJ disc and it says spin and it spins. The letters spin.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
They say a
DJ
Disney
movie.
Channel original movie at like within frame 1.
Yeah,
It's
they do.
so early.
Yeah. And then it transitions to a restaurant, which is called the Spirit of India restaurant.
This
Spirit of
is
India.
this is the home restaurant.
Yeah, that's their family restaurant. And then we see Rhea, and she puts on some like sick beats, and she starts to serve tables because she's a waitress at her family restaurant.
Yeah.
Woo! We get like a little montage of some like really delicious looking food being made, and Rhea's like serving the food, and she's doing a good job, and you can tell.
I don't personally like food. I'm a notoriously picky eater, so I'm not going to be able to speak on the visual taste of all of these items, but I can tell when it's supposed to look good.
It looks really good to me. I want to eat there really badly. Benji's like peanut butter and jelly? Yes, please.
I mean, yeah, I'll take one.
Yeah.
You make him?
No. Also, okay, there's a part where there's a kid that's like, I don't want to look at my menu or something. And Rio goes, hey, over here. And she like flips a pen in the air and then spins it on the table. And he's like, whoa, that's awesome. And then he starts behaving.
Kids are kind of like that, though.
Are they like that?
From my experience, you distract a kid for long enough, they start behaving.
Ria's like, I know what'll help this mom with her kid. Hey, kid, watch me flip a pen around.
Yeah. Do a flip.
Do a flip with my pen. Okay. Then we also get to meet Rohan, who's Ria's little brother. And she fights with him. She's like, do the dishes. And he's like, I want to put my tikka masala tacos on the menu, which are called Tik Tacos.
Which is not affiliated with the app TikTok.
No.
Just
But they probably liked that it sounded like that, though.
No, it's affiliated with the Kesha song.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tik Tacos on the restaurant menu. Don't stop tonight.
We're gonna get copy stricken, Kelsey.
Fuck.
This sounds too close to the original.
But okay, so he wants his tacos on the menu, but the dad's like, no.
And that's it.
Yeah, that's
That-
it.
yep.
That's it. They never bring it up again. Can you believe it?
Honestly, it doesn't get brought up that much because the little brother is barely a character,
It gets brought up every time the brother's on screen.
which is
pretty
like
much.
4 times.
Yeah, that's fair. All right, then we get to meet Nani, who's Ria's grandmother. She is in the kitchen. Now, don't be fooled by this first interaction of Nani.
This interaction is less than perfect, but it's not as bad as you would think it would lead to be for this being her first introduction.
Yeah, because, okay, so grandma's like, sorry, Nani. She calls her Nani. Nani's like, you need to look prettier, Ria. And she starts trying to like tweeze her eyebrows in the middle of the kitchen. The cook's like, what the heck? Not over the food.
Nani's not wearing a hairnet and was helping out in the kitchen. So I'm just saying, if the health inspector wants to go shut down this restaurant,
Yeah, I'm sure
oh,
everyone's finding hair in their food. Probably not, though. The food looked really good. So Nani's like, Rhea, why aren't you looking prettier? Which makes you think the grandma's gonna suck, right? Wrong. She like fucking rocks for the rest of the movie.
I feel like this entire movie is kind of set up that you're like 2 seconds, first 2 seconds of seeing a character, and you're like, oh, this is gonna fall in this trope, and then they're like, actually, I'm gonna subvert it just a little bit.
Yeah, I can think of two other characters where you think they're like pretty cool in the beginning and then they like are kind of lame later. Should I say who they are or just leave it?
You can say it,
The dad and Max.
but that's not that lame.
He has some pretty lame moments
Yeah,
in the movie.
but he's trying his
It
best.
starts good, and then there's some things, some choices he makes and some things he says that I'm like, dude, what the hell?
And
We'll
then
get there. I'll talk about it when we get there.
don't forget that Ginger though, like the very first second you see her and you see her being this influencer in the school.
And then she ends up being,
She
so you think she's gonna be like lame, and then she ends up being really cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm
So
saying. It's
yeah,
kind of a
that's
thing.
another flip one. You're right. All right. Okay. So while Ria's talking with Nani, Nani like kind of recognizes that Ria is working too hard. This is your first like tiny clue that like Ria is pushing herself super hard. She's taking on a lot of responsibility for being 15 years old.
Mhm.
Which I wonder, it might be something to do with like Indian culture, like, you know, living in America and kids growing up in an Indian family probably have like more pressure on themselves to like behave and do well in school and help out the family. Like I can just think of Lemonade Mouth touching on that a little bit, which is another
You
DCOM.
get all of your societal impact from Disney Channel
Yeah.
original movies.
I mean,
That's not going to be problematic at all.
I don't have any firsthand experience, so I can't actually say. But oh my gosh, I just remembered one of the facts I saw that I chose not to put in was they're like, this is the second DCOM to explore Indian culture. The first one was Cheetah Girls One World. What is Lemonade Mouth?
I mean, I don't know if Lemonade Mouth actually covers the culture.
Not really, but like Mo is Indian.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it explores the culture. That would just be kind of tokenism to say that it is.
Yeah, that's fair. They're not like, this is what it's like to be Indian. She's just like, my dad puts pressure on me and that sucks. So yeah, that's fair. All right. And then Nani yells at the dad for overworking Rhea, and the dad's like, you shouldn't fess over her looks though, so you know, we're both wrong.
Yeah.
All right. Then they talk to a family that's at a table, and I think they're related because Rhea says
Oh, they're
auntie.
related.
Yeah. So that's like her aunt. I'm guessing it's Nani's like other daughter or something, or maybe it's the dad's sister. Because she's trying to set dad up on a date. So that probably would make more sense if that was the dad's sister. Being like, oh, I have a lady that would want to go on a date with you. And Nani's also low key trying to set the dad up on the date, but Ria's like, no, 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 no.
Oh, we're gonna get you some drinks, and then they go and have a sidebar.
Yeah, like, no, dad, you don't need a date. Which, typical family stuff. Because the mom is dead, if that's not clear. That happens a lot in Disney, so fair enough.
You gotta expect a dead parent in half of the Disney movies you watch.
Right? Yeah. Bambi, right?
That's the only Disney movie.
The mom dies in that. Okay. Then we see a white family. It's a white woman and her son, and the dad goes, please handle that to Rhea, referring to the white boy. Like, please handle
I mean, they're in a
that.
restaurant. They have to be served.
I know, but the way he said it is like, ugh, handle that. Like, teenage boy, what the heck? It's kind of funny.
He's got a busy restaurant in this dinner rush.
Yeah, and he's sending Rhea to go handle it. And Rhea knows him from school. That's Max. And she's like, what is he doing here? And the dad's like, he probably wants to eat. Duh.
Yeah.
They're at a restaurant. So then Rhea goes to like greet them, and Max recognizes Rhea. He's like, biology or whatever, and she's like, nah, it's calculus, or I don't remember the exact classes.
It was calculus.
Yeah. So he recognized her but for the wrong class, and she's like a little disappointed, but honestly, I think fair enough. If you like vaguely see
He's a
the
transfer
classroom,
student.
yeah, he like just transferred, and you vaguely recognize someone's face. Like, yeah, you might get the wrong class. He doesn't really know her, but so I don't know. But I also get like because she recognizes him, she probably thinks he's cute. So it's like, you recognize me from the wrong class. That's a bummer. You know, teenage stuff.
I was never a teenager.
No, me neither. All right. So Max and his mom are seated. And also they are British.
Yeah, you'll never forget that Max is British.
Because he has a Union Jack in his room.
And his DJ name is DJ Union Max.
I never put that together.
You never put together?
Oh. I thought it was just like a name. I didn't get it's like, oh, because I'm British. Like, did he do that in England too?
Probably. He's just the Union
Lame.
Jack man. He's got one personality trait, and it's being a British DJ.
DJ United Benji.
That doesn't work.
Because United States.
You could do US Benji. I don't know.
America. DJ America.
DJ Star Spangled Benji. That's it. That's it.
That's lit. Go enter a contest right now.
That's all you need to be a DJ. So, I mean, all that Rhea really does is put songs together at this flowed well in a playlist.
Yeah. Right now, that's all she's
Yeah.
doing. Yeah. So okay, so they sit down at the table, and Max tries to like Shazam the song, but Rhea's like, "Oh, it's this song. It was like just released last night, and apparently Shazam isn't up to date enough."
Yeah, come on, Shazam. I feel like that's the exact type of thing Shazam's supposed to be good at.
By the way, this is like a knockoff Shazam. It's not actually Shazam.
Yeah, Shazam can be shown failing.
Yeah, right. And he's like, "Oh my gosh, what? I didn't know that released." And she's like, "Yeah, I like stayed up late and I saw that it dropped and I make the dinner rush mixes." And he's like, "Oh my gosh, also love that artist." And so they're like bonding. And he's like, "We should go record shopping sometime."
Just immediately asks on a date.
Yeah, right? Well, it didn't exactly sound like a date, but it kind of also does. So I don't know. Teenage stuff. He's
Mom's like, "Can we get some food?"
yeah, right. The mom's like, "Okay, enough of the small talk. I'm hungry," which I would also do that if I was the mom. I'd be like, "I'm here to eat."
If your son was there flirting with a waitress,
I'd be like, "Fucking stop. I'm hungry." Just get her number and let's move on.
mm-hmm.
But he's like, "Let's go record shopping." And Ria's like, "I don't have a record." And he's like, "Oh, well, I have two because I'm a DJ." Oh my God, so smooth, right? So they're being like really cutesy right now. And this, like, you're fully supposed to like Max right now. And they do a good job of making you like Max in the beginning. So props to this movie. That's another reason why this movie is good. Because Max, is going to be not great later, but they set him up
You can
to
see
be really
why
nice.
someone would like Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can see why Rhea would like have a crush on him.
Yeah.
Because he's being really nice and like cute right now. Okay. So then a song starts and it's Nani's moment,
Time to shine.
It's her time to shine. So a song comes on and she starts dancing and she's absolutely killing it. It is so fun.
Slay.
Yeah, slay. Oh, wait, no, that was last week or 2 weeks ago. Rhea explains to Max that like this happens every Sunday night. That the grandma just like gets up and dances. So, and other people are like joining in and dancing with her. So it's super fun. And Max says that it's awesome because it is awesome. Cool. All right. So now it's the nighttime and they're back at home. And the dad's like, "Nani, you should stop dancing." And Nani's like, "You might as well ask me to stop breathing." Because Nani loves to dance. And then she's like, "Rhea's music is so good." And she's just like her mother because Rhea has a knack for music and the mother had a knack for music. And the dad gets kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah, you should be able to talk about, your wife.
Yeah.
But
and the mom goes like, "I feel like I can't even talk about my own daughter in front of you." So it was...
he still has some grieving to do.
Yeah.
Like, the time, there's, as someone who has gone through loss in a family and stuff like this. There's a lot of things that you can't associate with other people in terms of like everyone's going to grieve differently and stuff like that. But at some point, it needs to be healthy to be able to talk about it.
Yeah.
And the amount of time that has passed, we are led to believe that this is a step that had needed to have been made for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we also established that Ria's mother was Nani's daughter.
Yeah.
So, all right, then we get a flashback of Ria as a child, and she can't sleep, and her mom comes in to comfort her. And the mom is like, listen to the street and the sounds because music is everywhere. And they like are listening to some guys talking, and she's like, it's like music. And then they listen to like the cars going over a pothole or whatever, and it's music.
Yeah. She explicitly says it's all music.
Yeah, it's all music. And then there's like some singing things. I don't know. I can't remember how it goes. But in my notes, I wrote ah. So there was some singing.
And then she walks into heaven.
She walks out the door and it's like super bright, and then she's like, "That's heaven." Yeah, she died right then. I bet.
Yeah. We don't know how she died.
We don't know how she died. I'm gonna assume she got sick.
Sick is the most likely solution.
Yeah.
I mean, could also be like a car accident.
Yeah.
There's a lot. People die in a wide variety of ways.
It's sad. Yeah. They don't get into it, and honestly, they don't need to, because that's not what this movie's about.
Yeah.
Cool. Now it's the next day, and they're at school, and Ria walks by Max, and he kind of nods at her. So it's like, oh yeah, we're like recognizing each other. And Ria's friends notice, and they're like, okay, who is that? And I wrote down that the guy friend, so that's Watson, his nails are painted, and I love that. It's becoming like a lot more normalized for guys to paint their nails, and that's so fun because I love painting my nails, and I think
Kelsey's biggest hobby, honestly.
I paint my nails all the time, and I think everybody should paint their nails because it's super fun, and you can do all sorts of colors.
Behind Kelsey's head right now is probably $300 worth of nail supplies.
Oh, it's more than that. Oops.
How much you want to guess?
I don't want to guess.
Oh no.
But also, it's been a few years of me collecting this nail polish, so it's not like I dropped over $300 all at once. Like, and I have a full-time job, so I'm fine. I can.
Yeah, I'm not judging you. You're allowed to spend on a hobby.
I like my nail polish, and so does Watson. So that's super fun. Okay. Yeah. So they kind of tease Rhea like, oh, there's a boy, whatever. And also, Watson designed some kind of jacket or something that he shows them. I don't think this is actually really relevant, but he's like, oh, look what I designed. So he's like kind of artsy and has a good eye for things. Yeah. Okay. And then we meet Ginger, who's popular influencer girl.
She's literally like taking selfies with fans and is probably getting paid by Instagram to shill out companies. I don't know.
Yeah, so she's like 15, presumably.
Yeah.
She's like actually a pretty famous influencer, at least in her school.
Yeah.
Probably in her community. I don't know how big she actually is, like bigger than that, but she has good rapport. Everyone likes to hear what she has to say.
She's your regular JoJo Siwa.
Yeah. Well, no. But she's actually like super nice and is friends with this group of friends.
This is where I want to say that the best thing this movie does right is it actually shows how people acted in high school, at least in my experience.
Mm-hmm.
So many times in DCOMs, it is all people care about is becoming the homecoming queen, and the popular girls are the mean girls.
Yeah.
And like that doesn't really add up to my high school experience.
Not really mine. Like there were definitely girls that were catty at my school, but they kind of just kept to themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see a lot of bullying, at least from my perspective. I'm not saying it didn't happen, but like I wasn't involved in it and I didn't see it really happening. So
I think people just, when they're making films about high school, they get too tropey in their remembrance of how school happened.
Yeah.
When really it's just people at the same spot. There are kids, and they're gonna have kid reactions to all these different aspects of things, because they're not fully mature adults. But they're still ultimately, at the end of the day, humans who are going to find social bonds and get in their own friend groups and have different interests outside of those friend groups.
Yeah. So Ginger is just like a popular girl and a popular influencer, but it's more because she's just like nice and like a social butterfly and like a probably good speaker, and people just like being around her and listening to her, and that's just cool, and she's like awesome. So love Ginger. And they tell Ginger like Ria's in love, and Ginger says, "Oh, with who? Like, who are they?" And she specifically uses the they pronoun, which is awesome.
Mhm.
Like, she doesn't assume gender, which kind of leads me to believe that Ria might be like
Bye.
bisexual or pansexual or something. So that's awesome. Good representation, Disney, and it's like just so casual.
Mhm.
Like that's how it should be. You know, who are they? And then Ria goes, he is a transfer student and he's a DJ, whatever. And they like tease Ria about it. It's like, oh, you like him,
Mhm.
which, you know, is very normal to do. They also explain that there's the Festival of Color coming up, which was Ria's idea. It's for a fundraiser. It's based on Indian culture.
Oh,
I forgot the name of it.
Holly,
Something like that. Yeah.
Holi.
Yeah, Holly.
I can't remember if it's Holly or Holy, but I think Holy sounds wrong, so I think Holly.
Yeah. And Ginger shows them the website that's promoting the event, and it looks awful. So Watson is like, guess maybe I can help you, but like I'll talk to my manager, and the manager is Molly, and they like kind of nod at each other, and it's really cute.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, but yeah, you have to give me 2 pizzas. So they're like, they have good rapport and they're friends and they're
Mhm.
being cute, and I enjoyed it. So there's that. All right, now for coding club. They are all in coding club. Not Ginger,
Not
but
Ginger. And that's, again, people have separate interests.
yeah, no, she's like the influencer and they like coding. So Rhea, Molly, and Watson are all in coding club. Molly and Watson are working on a project together, and they present what they're working on. And Molly has the teacher sign a confidentiality agreement.
Because it's gonna go big,
Obviously,
obviously.
even though this definitely has already been invented,
Yeah,
but whatever, because it's literally just a drone. It's a drone that carries pizza.
it is specifically designed to this task, and as you can imagine, it fails.
Yeah, it flops, but they're doing their best
And they're having
and
fun with
they're
it.
having fun, and the teacher is like super supportive and awesome. So that's cool. Also, because this is just a club, so like,
Yeah.
of course she's gonna be supportive. Okay, and then Ria shows her teacher an app that she is making that tracks shit going on in her restaurant.
Point of inventory sales thing. I
Yeah.
do like the whole plot point of this is like, hey, this doesn't seem like a fun activity, but I kind of like this kind of stuff. I'm gonna say I actually feel with Rhea here, because I'm like, you know what? Designing technology and building something to improve a different part of your life,
I think it's kind of cool too. It
I think that
tracks
is fun.
it tracks what people are eating at the restaurant. She said it's gonna help with them with like
It helps with
inventory
inventory.
and ordering stuff.
It's
And
gonna
also
like
I
automatically flag what to buy more of and
yeah,
keep stuff fresh.
I think I just love data, and
Yeah.
I would love to see like what the most popular dishes are, or like if there's patterns and when people order
I
stuff.
have a job in data analytics.
Literally.
This is what I like. This is an interest of mine. I like analyzing data and being figuring out trends and stuff. And even though I do that on a very macro scale in my job, I really like it on a micro scale too. That's like a solid half the time that I'm watching baseball, I'm just crunching stats about it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to figure out all these different analytical behaviors.
And with Ria so into coding, like I bet she likes data analytics
Yeah.
as well. And it's honestly just a little rude of the teacher to be like, Ria, you're supposed to be having fun. And
She says
Ria's like,
this.
this is fun for me.
I'm just
And
saying, I fully believe it, especially at
yeah.
this point. She is later in the movie gonna find a passion that trumps the joy that she has at working in the restaurant. but I do believe she has joy working at the restaurant.
Also believe that. And it's like she's applying this to her real life, which is the restaurant.
Yeah.
And as a teacher, I'd be like, that is so cool that you're like applying this in real life. Like as long as you are having fun and this is what you want to do, fully support
And
you.
maybe it's like not challenging her to think of coding in a different direction, but that's not the critique that is brought up.
No, she's like, you're supposed to have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. But whatever. All right. So then at home, Rhea shows the app that she showed the teacher that's about the restaurant. And he's like really impressed. He's like, wow, this is really cool. What would I do without you? And Rhea's like, oh, stop. We like need each other. You know, she's again playing off like, no, you don't rely on me too much, Dad. And he also goes, you're my favorite daughter. And she's like, I'm your only daughter.
It's cute banter.
It is cute banter.
Like,
but again, it's setting up still that he is relying on her a lot. And we'll touch on that later. Cool. So now it's the next day at school. And oh my gosh, Ginger's freaking out because the DJ she had for like Festival of Color and the little like rave they're having today to promote it.
this rave is cool.
I know. The DJ was suspended from school.
Yeah, he cheated on a history test. That's a no-no.
Yeah. I had a kid once give out answers for a chemistry test, and we all had to retake it. Never forget, Jared, you know who you are.
Jared, if you're listening, please atone your sins.
I think he got suspended.
No?
I think he probably got in trouble. I don't actually know.
Well,
and he was a pretty popular, like, sports guy, too. But he was also smart. He was, like, honor roll. And he gave a bunch of people the answers to the fucking chemistry test, and we all had to take it again. I was so mad.
It might be a method of cheating problem, because, like, depending on how it is, I could totally see that being like oh, that was us messing up, not you messing up. But also,
he gave out answers. I mean, it wasn't him cheating. It was him helping others cheat.
Yeah.
I don't know how different that is. But never forget. All right. Molly and Watson are like, we can do it. And Ginger's like, you can DJ. And they're like, no, we can beatbox. And they start beatboxing.
And it's not great.
It's not good, but it's funny. Like, the friends are fun. I have a good time.
No, again, they're awesome.
Yeah. And then Rhea's like, how about Max? And Ginger's like, okay, is he actually a good DJ? Or are you just saying that because he's cute? And Rhea's like, I mean, I've never heard him DJ. Well, she says, I never heard him spin, because that's like the cool way to say they're DJing. You spin. Mm-hmm. But like, he seems like he knows what he's talking about. So like, cool. And the dance squad, like, immediately 2 seconds later find him.
Ginger and her squad's powers are too powerful.
Yeah, Ginger is super powerful. So Ginger's like, okay, Rhea, come on, let's go talk to Max. And Rhea's like, what? I'm coming? And she's like, yeah. Don't you want to let the cute boy know that you got this gig for him? And Rhea's like, yep, I do. Let's go.
It's cute.
It's really cute. Cool. So then they're in the gym and they're having like a rave. And it's
literally just a rave.
It's really weird that this happens during the day, which they do acknowledge that it's weird. So I'll let it slide.
They lampshaded a bit. It's nice.
It's good. So Max is like setting up to DJ in front of everyone. He's like a little nervous.
It's like, I don't have all my equipment.
Yeah,
he just has his laptop.
Yeah. But Max thanks Rhea for getting him the gig, and they like flirt a little bit. So it's cute. And yeah, his DJ name is DJ Union Max because he's British.
That's an exercise for the viewer at home. Figure out why that name makes sense for a British DJ.
It certainly was an exercise for me.
We literally talked about the background of his room.
Union Jack, and then you're like, yeah, like Union Max, and it blew my mind. Okay, so Max starts a little rave that promotes Festival Color. There's like fucking glow sticks and shit.
It is a dark light party. Yeah. The dancers, I feel like Ginger at one point goes like, hey, someone doesn't have enough eyeliner on and I have to somehow solve that issue. When you can't see anyone's eyes that is actually dancing.
It's like glow in the dark eyeliner.
Maybe. That might be cool.
Yeah.
But no, the dancing, it's just a fun.
It's fun.
Dark, illuminated dance. And like something you would see on someone on America's Got Talent who makes it to the live rounds, but no further than that.
That's true. And then Ginger announces that, like, yeah, Festival of Color, it's gonna be awesome. And Max is doing his dumb DJ like moves where he's like, raise the roof, and he's kind of flapping his arms around. He does this a lot when he DJs.
Really? I think it's just some social anxiety where he's like, I'm DJing, but I don't have anything to do right now because I'm just pressing play on a laptop because that's all DJing is actively. So I'm just like trying to be a bird.
He he really just flaps his arms around. It looks silly. He does not know what to do with himself.
I mean, have you ever DJed before?
No, but I wouldn't do that.
Well, what would you do?
I would just kind of bop around.
Okay, but now imagine you're doing that in front of a crowd full of people and trying to hype them up.
I doubt people really care what I'm doing, so I'm not gonna do much.
All right, we'll see. I'm gonna get you to DJ at some point.
Right, sick. And then Ginger announces that DJ Union Max is gonna DJ at the Festival of Color, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and she's like, "Yep,
Just says, yeah, you are.
yep, you are." And okay, so then after the rave, Molly and Watson go, "Only Ginger could turn the gym into a nightclub. Just glad she's on our side. Imagine if she used her powers for evil."
Again, she would be the most tropey, predictable school villain.
Yep.
Only cares about being homecoming queen before Rhea somehow wins it at the end in a different DCOM world.
Yeah, but instead she's their friend and she's awesome. Cool. All right, so then Ginger talks to Max and she's like, "You better get ready for the festival. Like, you better bring your A game, bud." And Ginger's like, "Let's go get pizza. Rhea, are you coming?" And Rhea's like, no, because she wants to stay and talk to Max. So, like, okay, bye.
It's flirting time.
It's flirting time. Rhea's like, "Hey, Max, like, you want help putting together the mix for the festival? Like, you can teach me a little how to DJ." And he's like, "You want to learn how to DJ?" And she's like, "Well, I don't want to be a DJ, but like, I'm sure it'll help me with my dinner rush mixes and I can help you with the festival thing." And he's like, "Cool. Let's get together on Saturday. It's a date." Boom.
Whoa.
Bam, 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 bam,
Their
bam.
first date is record shopping.
Yeah, so cut to the record shop. They're there. He starts pulling out random albums and he's like, "Rock and roll music, disco." I don't know.
Hip hop.
Hip hop. Like, he doesn't
No,
say
it's really funny because he's like, ooh, 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 and he's like getting really excited to pull something out, and then he says the genre of music rather than
a
an
band.
artist or a band. It could be fake band names, and that would be completely fine. But like, he's just saying genres that you would DJ together.
You usually just grab stuff and be like, "Oh, yeah, because this is from this genre."
No, it's funny. It's not that. That is one of the lines that like make the least amount of sense as dialogue.
Yeah, which I mean, okay, maybe it's because they're DJs and they haven't actually listened to any of this. So he's like, "We're
He
just
wouldn't get all excited when it's just a bunch of them in a bin.
wow, rock music, yes." Which, how does he know it's rock music? Is it in a
He's
bin
probably
that
in a
says
bin that says rock music.
like, okay, Ria's like, "Yeah, I can read that it came from the rock music bin, Max. This is embarrassing for you." All right. Then there is a turntable at the record shop, which is fun, I guess. And he kind of starts showing Rhea how to DJ.
Hmm.
And he's like, "Let's combine two totally different sounds and like beat match it and stuff." And Rhea does some like quick math in her head. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm a coder, so I'm good at math."
This is just the obligatory. People watching this movie don't know anything about DJing, including us, and
So they show
we
you.
need to give like 2 minutes of dialogue so that you know the most basics of it.
Yeah.
So when they decide to go waka waka, you can understand why.
Yeah. Okay. Also, do you have to be good at math to be a coder?
No,
No, you don't, because if you need a math problem, you have a computer that can do it.
most coders I know, and I know a decent amount of people in the like computer science fields do like math and are in were
Yeah.
math focused.
That's kind of like the STEM just kind of goes
I think it's
together.
just your math is a logic based thing and coding's a logic based
Yeah.
thing. But no, you don't need to be good with numbers.
No, you don't. You have to be good at like coding, which is not math. It's like sometimes logic puzzles,
Yeah.
which I'm a math major and I actually enjoyed my coding class a lot. So,
I think it's you enjoy both of them.
yeah,
It's a common interest.
yeah. But it's not because of one another.
Mhm.
No. All right, so then a guy sees them like jamming out, and oh my god, it's DJ Lucas Sent.
What?
He's
Superstar
impressed.
celebrity?
Superstar celebrity DJ Lucas Sent. And he's like, come meet me at the front. And so they go and meet him at the front. And DJ Lucas Sent is like, hey, cashier dude, show them the flyer. And so he does. And the flyer is for like a amateur DJ competition for teenagers
Mhm.
specifically.
So very much ready for him. Yeah.
Yeah, so he's like, "Oh, these are some teenagers that are like DJing. You should join the contest." I bet they're struggling to find people to enter the contest.
I'm wondering how wide of a net they're looking for. Do we know what city this is taking place in?
No,
I
I
don't think we
don't.
ever learn.
I know it was filmed in Toronto.
But like, yeah, it's some big enough city that I'm just wondering maybe this is a net that's casted really wide.
Yeah.
So you can get enough people who are teenagers with an interest in DJing.
And they do have to like submit something. So maybe they just want a lot of people on the off chance that like they're good
Yeah.
and they'll be good enough for the contest. So yeah. And they have like I want to say like 8 people in the contest. We'll count later, but you know, a fair bit of kids, but not a ton. All right. So Ria's like, Max is totally he's gonna be there. And um he's like, I will, and she's like, yes, you have to do
Everyone
it.
keeps assigning Max DJing jobs.
Right? Well, most Rhea does, which she's being like supportive of
Well,
his
no,
hobby.
Ginger did too.
Well, because of Rhea,
Yeah.
but yeah. Okay, so they're like walking and whatever, and Rhea asks Max how he got into DJing, and he's like, well, I moved around a lot because like my mom's work or whatever, and it's hard to make friends, so like being a DJ just kind of makes it easier to make friends, like right now, because we're friends.
Yeah.
And they are. And then Max is like, enough about me, what about you? And Rhea's like, oh, I'm not really an artist. Like, singing was my mom's thing. And she mentions that her mom died when Rhea was 8 years old. So Rhea was really young when that happened. And she also mentions that every weekend her mom and Nani would perform together. Her mom would sing and Nani would dance.
Mhm.
So, like, really cute, touching, talking about her mom.
Really makes it feel like a family restaurant.
Yeah. But again, like, this is gonna come back later. Rhea's like, oh no, I'm not really like super artsy. I like coding. Like my family can be artsy, but not me.
I take after my dad, who's all business, business, business.
Business,
Money,
business.
money, food.
I like business. I like my family restaurant.
This is a perfect impersonation, actually.
Yeah, that's what he sounds
That
like.
you don't even need to watch the film.
Yeah. And then Max goes like, hey, do you want to practice at my place tomorrow? And she goes, sure. Boom, next scene, it's tomorrow. They're at his place. Like, it's immediate.
Mhm.
There's no, like, her
Filler.
going home. No, like, oh, it's nighttime. Like, nope, it's literally they're at their house, at his house right now. So, okay, cool. So he starts showing her how to, like, scratch, like, ibra, and,
This
like,
is me. You're wondering how I got to this situation.
ibra, and then he's like, backspin. DJ stuff, right? And then Max's mom is on like a business phone call and she's like, hey, keep it down,
My
Max.
phone call with the business factory, I can't hear them.
Yeah, and he's like sad about it. You can tell. Like he has kind of a strange relationship with his mom. And Ria's like, you okay? And he's like, oh yeah, totally. And like plays it off. So ooh. All right, now it's time for a montage. It's happy montage time. Max, literally the beginning of this montage is Max like hopping in on a dance group dancing.
It's literally like a flash mob dance group
Not
playing.
really, it's them just kind of hanging out and dancing, and Max is like, yeah, I can hop in. Like, if I was that dance group, I'd be like, who the fuck is this?
Honestly, I think it would be hype. Think about someone randomly coming in and getting your choreography right.
You're like, oh shit. Oh shit.
Hell yes.
Hot as hell. Okay, in the happy montage, Rhea is helping Max find music and stuff, and they're being all cute and flirty. And I wrote that I liked the song that was playing during the montage. It was like a very happy song. Also they hold hands. Aw, because they're cute together.
Mhm. Man, it seems like such a lovely couple. I hope nothing comes between them.
Yeah, and Rhea's like starting to learn how to DJ, and then they listen to like an iPod and they share their earbuds. And Molly and Watson,
Millennial love,
yeah,
even
Molly,
though they're Gen Z.
definitely Gen Z, Gen Z love where you share. Now it's just fucking AirPods,
Yeah.
but you know the wire headphones. Y'all remember those? And Molly and Watson like make fun of them a little bit, like, look at them being all cute.
The strays.
And then they eat at the family restaurant
Mhm.
together. So yeah. All right, so now we're out of the montage and they're DJing again, and Rhea is like really getting the hang of it a lot. And she like brings in a new sample of music, and Max is like, "Where did that come from? Like that matched together so perfectly. That was crazy." And Rhea's like, "Oh yeah, I just kind of like felt it, you know." And Max's mom comes up and he's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, we'll be quiet." And she's like, "No, no, 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 you're fine." Like, wow, this is pretty good. Like your little prodigy here or whatever, she's gotten quite good. And Max, the mom leaves and Max kind of goes, "Huh, I've never gotten a quite good before."
Yikes.
Yikes. And
Man,
it's
I wonder if there's some trauma in there that we won't get developed.
yeah. I mean, it's also kind of because we learned this that like Max isn't that good of a DJ.
No. But it's obviously something that he has a passion for,
Yeah.
and he's sharing that passion. But he's like, number one, Ray was showing initiative and like listening to the albums just probably on Spotify or something before going to DJ practice because she's like, I want to find this hidden gem on it that's going to fit well with our
Yeah, because
song
she's just genuinely
because
interested
she's
in
got a
it.
genuine passion on it. And she's finding stuff that sounds better than he's making, and he knows this.
Yeah, and like she's getting approval from his mom that he like desperately wants.
Yeah.
Cuz like that's a normal thing, Mama trouble, mommy issues. So, so he kind of brushes off and he's like, Rhea, you like really have something here. You could be a really great artist. And this is when Rhea's like, I'm just a coder. Like, I'm not an artist.
Yeah.
Um,
She is like, no.
yeah. She's like, nah, it's just a silly little thing. And then she's like, oh crap, I have to leave because my dad has to get to parent teacher conferences. So I have to like go cover at the
Yeah.
restaurant. Yeah. All right. So then Rhea gets to the restaurant and she's a little late and she runs into her brother Rohan because he was moonwalking with the like tray of food. Which why was he doing this?
Time.
He's
Don't judge him.
he's probably like 13 and
He's
he's just like
having
a
a
dork.
good time. If you're
And
holding a plate of food, would you not moonwalk?
no, not if I was working a shift at a restaurant.
When does it work if you love what you do?
All right, so then dad scolds Rhea for being late. He's like, "What the heck? You were late." And she's like, "I'm sorry." And he's like, "Whatever." And then he leaves for the parent teacher conference. And then Rhea's at the front of the restaurant, and all of a sudden, Nani just like appears from around the corner, like
Just
she was
really
there,
phases into existence.
like she was waiting for Rhea. And she's like, "So, tell me about this Max boy," because she saw them at the restaurant,
Mhm.
right? And well, also Rhea's like, "How do you know?" And she's like, "Rohan told me."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rohan's a snitch.
yeah. Oh, and then he goes, I had an educated guess. And she goes, You're an educated snitch.
Got him.
Got him. And Rhea's like, Yeah, he's just a boy. He's nice. He said he liked your dance moves, Nani. And Nani's like, yeah, naturally. Of course he
Nani's
does.
great.
She's so awesome. And then Rhea mentions that she's learning to DJ from Max. And Nani like doesn't understand what DJing is, but Rhea explains that it's like, oh, you like take the music and you put it together, and it's kind of like you're a musician. And Nani's like, you're a musician now? And Rhea's like, oh no no no, it's just a hobby. And then Rohan shows off more of his like food creations.
You know,
Yeah,
pretty standard affairs to what we've been
yeah,
seeing in this film.
pretty standard. All right, so now we're at the parent teacher conference. where Ria's dad meets up with the teacher from the coding club.
Yeah. The whole time at this school, there's like one scene in a classroom itself.
And it's that teacher. She's the only teacher we see.
Well, no, I'm saying like
Oh,
we never see her as a teacher because she's always doing the coding
coding
class.
club, yeah.
There's like one scene later in the movie where he is just asleep in class, and that's it.
That's true. Yeah, we don't really see them do
We don't care
actual
about the
school.
actual schoolwork
Because
of
why
this.
would we? That's not what this movie's about.
Not at all.
Okay, so the teacher's like, Ria is awesome. And she's also showing like off all the projects. She's like, they made a pizza drone and they're doing this cat thing and whatever. And she's like, okay, then there's Ria's project where she's making the app for your family restaurant. And he's like, oh yeah, Ria showed me that. Like it was awesome. And the teacher's like, yeah, it was.
But it wasn't fun.
But it wasn't fun. Like she's not letting herself explore new things, which is kind of a fair point. Where she's like, I'm afraid Ria is like so stuck on the family restaurant stuff and the responsibility that she's not like exploring new hobbies and things that she might be interested in. And the dad's like, I would never make her do something that she doesn't want to do. Obviously, if she had a problem, she would tell me, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is not true.
No, that is a theoretically problematic statement, but
Yeah.
I would say his actions in the following scene make up for it.
Yeah.
But we'll get to that when we get to the next
We'll
scene.
get to that. But just a point that like kids are not just going to automatically tell you when they're unhappy because they want to please you. Cool. Then they eat a donut because Naomi, who's the teacher, she's like, call me Naomi. She's
being
like
flirty this whole time.
just a little. She's like, do you want a donut? And he's like, sure. And he's like, yeah, these are good, I guess, but they're not as good as my dessert. I forgot what they're called. I wrote it down later.
Indian restaurant dessert.
Yeah, and he's like, they're the best thing ever. And she's like, oh, I guess I'll have to stop by and try them. And he's like, yeah, you can come by anytime. And she goes, oh, it's a date. And dad's like, wait, what?
I don't know how clear we made this when there was the whole setup issues before. The dad hasn't dated since the mom's death.
No, that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, and is still hesitant towards dating.
Yeah, so then he gets home and Nani's like, how'd it go? And he's like, fine. And she's like, what? And he's like, I think I accidentally asked out the teacher. But Nani's like, well, good. You should go out on a date with the teacher. Because Nani's like, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Get a date, bruh. It's been long enough. They also like compliment Ria's music in the restaurant, so that's cool. All right. Now they're back at school. And Watson made the new website for the Festival of Color, and it looks really awesome. And Molly helped too, so yay, they did it. And I wrote Ginny, but her name is Ginger. I think I just forgot her name. Ginger is like, oh yeah. So I'm not really promoting Max on the website that much because his music kind of sucks. He sent me the rough mix.
And it sounds awful.
And it sounds bad. And Ria's like, wait, what? He didn't tell me that he sent you a mix.
Red flag.
Red flag. And Ria's like, well, you still gonna use him? And she's like, well, yeah, I announced it in front of the school, which is like basically announcing in front of the whole world. But, you know, I'm not hype about it. So I'm not gonna hype him up until I'm hyped about it. Which is fair.
It's valid response and like a good business decision that I feel like I wouldn't have, especially at that age, come up with.
Right? Yeah, she's being really smart because she's like, I already announced that he's going to do it, so I'm not going to cut him.
Yeah.
But if he flops, I'm not going to be the one saying that he's going to be super awesome.
Yeah.
Because then people are going to be like, what the heck? You said he was going to be awesome. Like, So, yeah. Ria goes to confront Max now. So, Ria goes to Max, and she's like, what the heck, Max? Why didn't you show me the new edit? And he's like, oh, sorry, I forgot, or whatever. And then he plays it for her, and she listens to it, and she's like, yeah, it's not great.
It's really funny. We never get to hear this edit.
No, we never do.
Anything. Probably because they don't know how to make a good enough but still noticeably bad song.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't tell the quality difference between all of these different DJ songs. I'm gonna be honest.
You can just kind of tell when it's like boring or if you're like, whoa, this goes together really
Yeah,
nicely.
I don't know the difference between it slaps, it's a banger, and it's a ballad. I don't know. Other words of affirmation.
All right. So then Rhea like immediately starts helping him fix it. And he's like, what? You're going to help me? And she's like, yeah, if you want me to. And he's like, yeah, you can help me. And she's like, okay, well, let's go back with what DJ Lucas said. That's his name, right?
Yeah.
Because what he said earlier, Rhea was like, what are you looking for in a winner? And he's like, it needs to tell a story and something else. I forgot.
Make you feel
Yeah,
something.
make you feel something and tell a story. So Rhea's like, okay, let's start with the basics. Let's tell a story. Like, why should we care about this? And, he starts talking about like music stuff. He's like, I just want to make people feel good. He's like, with like sick beats and whatever. And Rhea's like, no, 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 no. Go like
Simpler than
simpler than
that.
that. Don't just think about like the basics of music. Think about the basics of life, my guy.
Bruh.
Bruh.
Yeah.
For me, I like my nanny's food and the color yellow, which bleh,
And sunsets.
and sunsets
And like two of those things are good.
and he's like, "How is this supposed to be music?" And Rhea's like, "My mom always said that there's music in everything, so just humor me." And Max is like, okay, well, I like the beach. And she's like, okay, that's good. Is there a song that like reminds you of the beach? And he's like, oh my gosh, yeah, there's this one song that's like surfing. And so they like start listening to songs. She's like, yeah, this is good. And then Rhea finds a song that has a really good vocal hook that's like, feeling good now.
Yeah.
I feel good.
It makes you feel good.
It makes you feel good because it says feel good. So then they start working together to make a better mix. And Rhea's like, oh my gosh, we should call it feeling good.
Because they say feeling
Feeling
good and makes
good.
you feeling good.
Yeah. And then she looks at the time because a lot of time has passed and she goes, oh my gosh, I totally just missed dinner shift. I'm not just late, I missed it
Completely spaced on it.
completely. So that's not good.
That's bad.
That's bad. So she runs home. She goes to the restaurant. She apologizes to her dad. She's like, Dad, I'm so sorry. And he's like really disappointed, right? Because she totally missed dinner shift and that's like never happened before. And he's like, okay, I've been talking to some concerned parties and I'm worried that you're not happy working at the restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you don't have to work here if it makes you unhappy. This is good.
This is good. And it's even more than that. It's not like he doesn't, at least maybe it's not explicitly said, but I feel like it is at least implied that he's like, even if it like makes you happy, like don't overstrain
Yeah.
yourself.
No, I think his intentions in this scene are all really good. And he's like, if you're not happy here, I can figure something out.
It's a busy season in the next 2 weeks. Like it's going to be busy,
Yeah.
but I can figure something out.
And Rhea just goes, no, 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 of course I want to be here. I just spaced out for the one night. And he's like, okay, good, I'm glad, but like I can figure something else out. And she's like, no, it's fine. I'm gonna be here.
She's been gone 2 times in the last week.
Yeah, he goes, I need to be able to rely on you. You've been late twice in the last week. And then Nani shouts in from the other room, oh, late 2 times in the last 5 years. What an awful record. Hope she still gets into university. Like, it's funny. And then Dad's like, this isn't about you. This is between Rhea and me. And then Nani walks in and she's like, I'm sorry, am I not part of this fucking family? And he's like, yes, you're part of the family. And she's like, well, then good, because then I am a part of it. And Nadi's like, Rhea's only 15. She should go out and have more fun. She works too hard. And the dad's like, no, it's fine. She's a responsible young girl. She can handle it. And Rhea's like, I'm right here.
Don't fight over me with me in the room.
Yeah. She's like, I just want everybody to be happy. I'll work and it's going to be fine. I just want everyone to be happy. And then she walks out and Nani goes, what about her happiness? And that's the end of the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So something else about this though is like what the dad is saying, I do believe is with good intentions, but also he's like, you don't have to if you don't want to. It's like maybe just the slightest unintentional manipulation of Rhea, because Rhea just wants to please her dad.
Well, you're also he's saying this about himself at the same time.
Yeah.
Because his entire thing right now, the reason that he hasn't got back out in the dating world, the reason that he's been so focused on the restaurant and getting all these extra business for it, because we haven't talked about it too much, but the whole time he's like finding extra people to come into the restaurant. He's putting his heart and soul into it.
Yeah.
We learned that, like he says, all he has left are the restaurant and the kids.
Yeah.
And that's part of him coping and still going through part of the grieving process of all of this. And that's like the last Horcrux that needs to be broken to get himself the sanity of a more normalized life.
Yeah. And he's also, he's really holding on to this. And he's also, I think, holding on to like, no, Rhea is like me. She just wants to work.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because, thinking about his wife pains him because he is still grieving. And if Rhea goes out and explores this more artistic part of her, then that's him thinking about his wife, which he doesn't want to do.
It's something that he needs to get through.
Yeah.
And he does more or less by the end of the movie.
By the end of the movie, he does come around, which is good. Yeah. All right. So now we get another montage, but this one is less happy because it's about Rhea being overworked.
Yep.
So Rhea's like totally working her ass off. There's like a flawless outfit transition of her like walking to the kitchen and then she walks out in a different outfit.
Pretty great.
It's pretty great. Molly and Watson complain about Rhea like never being in coding club anymore.
Because she's dropped that to go hang out with Max.
Yep.
And then
and work at the
hanging with Max to be in the restaurant as much as possible. And it's just like hardcore those two things.
Yeah.
Because whenever you find a new hobby or something, you dedicate your time to it, but your other hobbies suffer as a consequence. Or if you don't cut down on them, your other time dies.
During this montage, we see her sleeping in class, which like she is super working hard because like pretty much every spare minute she has is like either working on the mix with Max or working at the restaurant. Yeah. Which also having a job in high school is hard. I did that. I used to have a job at a gas station and I had to work pretty late. And there was times I started to fall asleep in class too. And that's just because like I was up later and I have to wake up super early because it's high school. I had to wake up at like 6 a.m. What the heck is that about?
I was able to, for the most part, only nap in study halls. So good on me.
I didn't want to sleep in class. I was a good student. I just like, I was so tired, So I eventually quit that job and I got a job with better hours. Mm-hmm. But it's hard sometimes. Like, and she's just working super, super hard and probably still doing well in school. So, that's what this montage is about. Okay. So then Max sends her the new edit. So he sent her the mix this time, which is good because he didn't do it last time. So cool. And she like texts back this over a text message and she gives advice about it. So
she's like, it's good, add some bass.
Yeah, some more oomph, oomph, oomph. And so like you can tell they're really, really collaborating on this together. Yeah. It's definitely a team effort, right? Then at the end, Rhea drops a tray at the restaurant because she's super tired. And Nani helps her out. And then she's like, you know what, Rhea, you can go. I'm going to take care of this for you. And Rhea's like, are you sure? And Nani's like, yep. And then Nani like picks up all this stuff and the dad comes out and he's like, what happened? And Nani's like, well, I dropped it. Sue me. And then she like gives the mess to the dad like, oh, oops, your problem now. So Nani's awesome. She's the best. Cool. So then at Max's house, they finish the song. They finish Feeling Good.
They're feeling good about it.
They're feeling good about it. And then Rhea has like 5 different alarms go off.
It's like me in the morning. I set like 7 alarms to wake up for work.
So many. Just hit the snooze button.
If I accidentally hit the I have done this where I've set only 1 alarm. I think I hit snooze, but I actually hit turn off and then I oversleep. That has happened multiple times in my life.
I'm a 1 alarm gal. Usually by the first alarm, like I'll close my eyes again, but I really am awake at that point. Sometimes I'll fall asleep and my snooze wakes me up, but it doesn't happen that often.
Well, you're just better than me, so
Oh, thank you. I am better at sleeping, which
absolutely.
is just sad for you because it sucks not being able to sleep.
Yeah, it takes me like 30 minutes to fall asleep.
Yeah.
I'm better at that now. Now it's like 20.
All right. Now we're at the restaurant, and Naomi, who's Miss Alloy, I believe, I don't really know, but the teacher, she shows up at the restaurant. And Ria's like, "What are you doing here?" And she's like, "Oh, your dad invited me." She's
Hmm.
like, "What?" And okay, so the dessert is called jalebis,
Oh, you
I
wrote it
believe.
down
I
here.
did at this point, not before, but at this point I did. Um, he's like, "Are you ready for them?" And she's like, "Yeah." And they're like awkward flirting in front of the kids, which is kind of weird, but parents flirting. What are you gonna do? Um, so then Nani tells the kids like, "Don't spy on them," and she shoos them away. But then Nani starts spying on them because Nani's the best.
No, it's great.
She's hilarious and awesome. So then Naomi tries the dessert, and the dad like joins her at the table, and she's like, "Okay, yep, they're better than my donuts, like crazy." And I
Wow.
and I love my donuts, and they're like flirting. And then Naomi's like, "Ooh, now I want to girl talk with Rhea before I leave." And Rhea's like, "You want a girl talk?" And Naomi's like, "Actually, that was code for you're in trouble with your teacher." And Rhea's like, "Yeah, I know. I've been missing coding club. I'm just like super busy with other stuff, like the
Hmm.
restaurant, whatever." And Naomi is like, "I get that, but like Molly and Watson were really counting on you for your help." And Rhea's like, "Well, you know what? Maybe they should just help themselves for once. Like, I don't see them trying to help me." And Naomi goes, "Do you need help?" And she goes, "No, I'm fine.
Hmm.
I just want people to stop asking me if I'm okay." So that's kind of like a minor mental break for
Yeah.
Rhea of like she is definitely being overworked
Yep.
and she does need help,
And
but she
people are
doesn't want
there
it.
to try and be there for her,
Yeah.
and she's not taking them, and it's hard to help someone that doesn't want help.
Yeah. I feel like the teacher handled that really well. When she goes like, "Do you need help?" That was the right thing to say there. Just a little bit of like counseling
Yeah.
also with the teaching. So, yeah. All right. So then we get a little scene of Ginger hearing the new mix, and she's like, "I love it. It's awesome." And Max and Rhea like celebrate together. And Max says, like, "This has been an amazing journey for us,"
Hmm.
acknowledging that they did this
We are
together.
pointing these out because we haven't gotten to the twist villain arc yet.
Yeah, we're going to get there. But right now, Max is being
Great.
great. And you're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so cute together," right?
I hope he gets over the issue with his mom, but
Yeah, but like that's, fairly normal.
that's probably
Like,
what the plot's gonna be.
right? Okay. So then they're at the restaurant, and the dad's like, "Oh my gosh, there's a last minute baby shower, and they're gonna have it here,
Yep.
whatever." And Rhea's like, "That's cool." And he's like, "Yep, and I need you to run it." And Rhea's like, "Well, you said I could have today off because today is the Festival of Color." And he's like Holly? And she's
Mhm.
like, "Yeah, it's like that, but it's different. And it's for a fundraiser. And like you said I could go." And he's like, "Rhea, that sounds really cool, but I really need you today." And Rhea is sad about it, but she's like, "Fine."
Yeah. This is bad.
This
I'm
is
gonna
bad.
do a very slight defense of the dad here.
What?
When the dad was saying like, "Hey, we're gonna be busy for the next 2 weeks. I need to know if I can rely on you and if you're dependable." Like that was her theoretical out in this situation. Obviously, circumstances have changed, and she was promised a day off. I don't think she should be forced here. If he can't find another worker to take the shift, he just can't take the party.
Yeah, no, he shouldn't. It's very irresponsible as a boss and especially as a father.
Yes.
Which I just like it's Nani's point the whole time of like, yes, she's telling you that she can handle it because she wants to please you, but she's 15.
Mhm.
She doesn't exactly know her limits, and you as her father shouldn't be relying on her this
It's
much.
not necessarily a boss failure as much as it is a
Father
father
failure, yeah.
failure.
It's a failure both ways, but mostly a father failure. Um She's like, fine. And Nani's really disappointed that she has to do this also because Nani's the best. So Rhea calls Max and she's like, I have to work. It's so unfair. And Max is like, you know what? I'll swing by the restaurant later and I'm going to tell you all about it. So it's just, which is nice of him to do. And Rhea says, good luck. And he goes, I don't need luck. I got you.
Aw, what a cute
Aww.
couple. I sure hope nothing breaks between them.
Which is so bizarre with how he acts later, which I think just the fame gets to his fucking head.
We'll talk about it when it happens.
Yeah.
But just remember from this point on, he doesn't believe that she's going to be at
Yeah, I
this
guess.
party.
All right, so now they're like signing up for the baby shower, and the festival is also getting ready. And Rhea is working on the shower. And then during the shower, Rhea watches the live stream of Ginger being like, yo, the festival's about to start.
I'm an influencer.
I'm an influencer.
Watch my Instagram live.
And then she's like, hey, Rohan, how'd you like to be cool for once? And he goes, I reject your thesis. I'm fabulous.
It's a great comeback. That line is so good. I need to use that more often. I reject your thesis. I'm fabulous.
I'm fabulous. I love that he said fabulous.
Oh, it's such a good line.
He is fabulous. And then she's like, well, how would you want to get your tikka tacos approved? And he's like, they're TikTacos. And she's like, whatever. And then she whispers in his ear.
The boy doesn't really do much.
No, we don't see
like
what happens. Maybe they cut it, but the implication is that she's gonna sneak out and he's gonna cover for her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, not surprisingly, she gets in trouble for sneaking out later on. So, what?
As if like the dad wouldn't notice that she's gone, but I think she's just like she really wants to go and she's willing to face the consequences of it. Yeah, and maybe she can sneak out and come back with the brother covering for her. Maybe, I don't know. Unlikely, but she takes the risk. Cool. So now they're at the festival, and on the way to the festival, Rhea calls Molly and Watson, and she's like, "Hey guys, I'm sorry for leaving you high and dry, but I promise, like now after the festival, it's gonna get better. I'm gonna
be such a good friend and totally gonna be able to go to coding club all the time.
All the time." And they're like, okay, we accept your apology, but also we promise to pelt you with this color stuff once you get here.
Pretty polite way of saying, hey, you kind of were mean to us, but like you're still our friend.
She wasn't mean. She just kind of
wasn't there.
Yeah, she just kind of ditched on them a little bit.
Which I would argue is mean.
Maybe. It's I wouldn't call it mean because
mean's not the right word. She
didn't have ill intent at all. She's just being flaky on them, which sucks and isn't cool. But, she apologized for it and they accept because they have a good friendship. So Rhea's on the way and the festival starts. And so what the festival is like there's, the DJ and then everybody wears white and they throw this like colored powder all at each other. And then at the end of it, you're like...
clothes are all kind of dyed.
Yeah, it's really... It looks super fun.
I've seen footage of this from probably India celebrating it.
Yeah.
And it always looks really cool.
Yeah.
She describes it at some point as like daytime fireworks, and that's basically what it is.
Yeah, it's awesome. So everyone starts throwing around the color powder stuff, and it's like, it looks so cool.
They're playing the music.
Yeah.
And everyone's loving it.
Everyone loves it. Rhea shows up just in time, and she looks like super proud of Max. Max is up there DJing, and he does this dumb little arm movement.
He's a bird.
He's a bird. And then Molly and Watson find her and start pelting her with the powder. Then like Ginger's there too, and they're having so much fun. And then right at the end of the song, Max spreads his arms out like he's on top of the world. Like, the scene from Titanic where it's like, I'm flying, Jack. It's that. He's like, I'm king of the world right now. He feels really good about himself. And then, so Ginger comes up and she's like, oh my gosh, that was awesome. DJ Union Max, say some words. And he's like, yeah, so that one's called Feeling Good because there's music and everything, whatever. Like, he's saying basically word for word what Rhea said and what her mom used to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like, there's also someone I need to thank. Ginger, thank you for taking a chance on me.
And while he's saying this, you're seeing just Rhea's face go from happy to just devastated.
Devastated that he thought, oh, I definitely need to thank someone. I need to thank Ginger for some reason. Do you think in that moment he was gonna shout out Rhea and then decided not to?
No, I think that was him not thinking about it.
Not thinking about it?
I think he is planning like taking credit for it, but I think he was because Ginger said something along the lines of like, um, do you have anyone to thank? Or not, do you have anyone to thank? It was
He just
just,
said say some words and he goes, I have someone I want to thank.
well, I
I want to
think
thank Ginger.
she thanks him, and he
Yeah.
goes, well, the person that set this all up is Ginger, basically.
But he says, like, literally, there's someone I need to thank.
Yeah. No, it's an awkward way of wording it,
It's
but
because the movie wants to set you up thinking he's gonna say Rhea, but he doesn't.
yeah.
Um, I think it's more deliberate than you think, especially what he says. I think he sees that Rhea is really good at this and he wants to kind of claim that back that like this is my hobby, so I'm going to claim the song.
You're saying it has more malicious intent.
A little more,
I
not
think
not completely. I think it has more than you think.
there is malicious intent in not thanking. I'm
Also too because
I'm saying if thanking Ginger is not.
no, but he doesn't bring up Rhea deliberately. And part of it is because she's not there.
Yes, and that's something I want to keep stressing back on. Like I think if he knew that she was there, he would say it.
Yeah, but I think when he heard she wasn't going to be there, he saw it as an opportunity to take full credit for it,
Yeah, because
which is
he's
what
been
he
feeling
wants.
inferior
Yeah. You
due
know,
to her just immediately being good at the hobby.
yeah, this was his thing that he was like showing her the ropes. And then she becomes better than him. Like, of course, you're going to feel insecure about
Yeah.
that. It might also have something to do with her being a girl, that
Oh yeah, there could be
internal
misogyny in
sexism.
it.
Yeah. Internal misogyny. Like, even if that's not what's on his brain.
Yeah.
So it sucks. It really, really sucks for Rhea that he does that. And then he says,
One
DJ,
white guy in the film's the villain. Let's go.
let's go. And then he goes, DJ Union Max can't be stopped. And then he does more dumb arm flails. Cool. Not cool.
Uncool.
Uncool. So then festival's over and Max is like signing some autographs and Rhea approaches him and he's like, "Oh my gosh, you're here. That's awesome. Wait, is everything okay?" Cuz she looks upset, right? And she goes, "Why didn't you shout me out?
Hmm.
Is it because you thought I wasn't here?" Or he goes, "No. I just like got so hyped up in the moment that I forgot. Like, I don't know. I'll make a post later or something." And she's like, "No. Like she doesn't let that slide. She goes, "What do you mean you forgot? I worked with you for hours on
She
this.
spent so many
So
nights.
long." And she goes, "I named the song and I found the main vocal hook."
Like you can't say I didn't have an impact on this.
Like
This
she's like, "I had a huge impact on this song." And you like it slipped your mind. Like she's not buying it, and I don't really buy it either. That she was a huge part of this. And he says too, like, "Oh, I don't need luck, I got you."
I don't think he forgot.
I think he thought she wasn't there and saw it as an opportunity to
Yeah.
take all the glory. And so she's like, "What the hell?" And he goes, "Whoa. Just remember that this is my thing, okay? I'm the DJ.
You're not an
It's
artist.
my song." Yeah, she's like, "You can't be serious." And he's like, "You said it yourself, and you're not an artist."
Which is just like using her own words
It's
against
so
her and
awful.
twisting them.
He's like, "You just make mixes for your restaurant."
He's just completely demeaning her
Yeah,
work on this.
totally.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, I did this because I'm the DJ." As if she had no part in it. It's just, oh, he's such an asshole. And he's like, "Calm down. Let's celebrate." And she goes, "You know what, Max? You're right. I said I wasn't an artist. But I also would never take all of the credit for something that I didn't do myself." And then she leaves, which is, that's just speaking the truth.
Hmm.
She's like, "I may not be an artist, but you're claiming to be an artist and you're taking all the credit for this. And you didn't do it.
Goodbye.
Goodbye." And she's crying. It's sad. And then Ginger goes, "Max, is what she said true?" Because she was listening in. And Max goes, No. She was just being dramatic." And then Ginger goes, "Friends, what does it mean when a man says a woman is just being dramatic? And Molly goes, he's a filthy liar. And
Got him.
Watson goes, facts. And he snaps.
Everyone's like, yeah, you know what? Trust women.
Yeah. And then Max is like, whatever. And then they all leave. So they all fucking hate Max now for good reason.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Max does not get redeemed.
No, which is also why this movie is awesome, because they have a villain and they don't try to redeem him. Like, he does something shitty and it's just kind of left at that.
It's stuck to the shitty and they leave it as, hey, you did something shitty. You don't get an excuse for it.
Yeah. Any other DCOM by the end of it would be like, I'm sorry, you were right. You were really good out there. And Rio would have been like, thanks. And then, like, you're supposed to feel good about that interaction. But that doesn't happen, which is good.
He's just unambiguously the villain for the rest of the film.
Yeah. I think by the end he realizes he fucked up, but like he doesn't get
a redemption arc.
Yeah.
He could redeem himself on his own terms later, but there's
probably not with Rhea.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So then Rhea gets home and Dad is not happy.
He is upset. We should also stress in this interaction, Dad has no clue the emotional turmoil she just went through.
Yeah, literally no. And she comes back home. She left in the middle of the baby shower. He's like, the only thing I asked for is responsibility and accountability, and you failed me. And he's like, you are grounded for leaving your shift.
I wonder how different his reaction would have been if she told him, like, I'm leaving, you can't do anything about it, versus
just sneaking
out. Because I feel like sneaking out was worse for the long-term effect.
I just don't see how she could look him in the face and say, I'm leaving. Like, she wouldn't be able to do that. Because he would say, no, she doesn't have it in herself. She doesn't have it in her to like, in his face, disappoint him like that. Like, she snuck out and then dealt with the consequences later. So she's like heartbroken again and cries in her room. This has been such a shitty day for Rhea. Yeah. And especially too, like, she organized the Festival of Color. It went great. It went great. And she like did a ton of work on the song and didn't get like any of the credit for it. She lost this friendship / like flirtation with this boy that she really liked. Yeah. And now she's grounded and disappointed in her father, which she did not want to do. She is a people pleaser for sure. All right, so then we cut to Nani. She's lighting a candle, and it's definitely like religious, and she calls Rhea over to pray. It's like this whole setup. So then Nani is like, all right, talk to me, Rhea. Why did you have to leave? Like, what was so important that you left in the middle of the baby shower? Rhea goes, I left so that I could show up to the festival and have my heart broken in front of the whole school. And now I'm grounded for 2 months. And Nani's like, sounds like you made the wrong choice.
First of all, 2 months?
Yeah, 2 months for that.
Yikes.
That is a yikes. That's too harsh. Especially for how good of a kid she is.
Yeah.
This is easily the worst thing she's done in terms of behavior. 2 months of like not leaving your house.
Yeah. Which maybe there's more exceptions to that than we think. Like maybe she's still allowed to do coding club.
Maybe. I don't know.
Because that's an after-school activity.
Yeah.
But we don't really get to know.
Rhea says, I just want things to go like back to the way. I just want to go back to the restaurant and for it all to go away. And Nani's like, I don't want you to be like your father and bury all of this stuff and just go back to the restaurant. Like, the restaurant is not your responsibility. Mm-hmm. And Rhea's like, I don't know, I've been late and I've let Dad down and I did it all to help Max. And then Max didn't even give me credit. She's like, what did I do all this for? You know, none of it was worth it. And Nani's like, well, you know what you're going to do? You're going to make an even better song than him. And you're going to crush him. And Rhea's like, yeah, maybe. She's like, I don't know. I loved making that song, but what if I gave Max all of my good ideas? Like, what if all of my creative music talent is gone now?
She's worried the well has run dry.
Which, honestly, I feel like I would worry about that, too.
Oh, that is something that, from my brief endeavors into creative fields, I feel like everyone gets that feeling.
Yeah. Where it's like, that was my best
You do
work.
something you're proud of, and you immediately get worried that you can't do it again.
Yeah, especially for Rhea, who's so new to this. She's like, I was working with Max, and like all of this creativity was flowing out of me. Like, I just showed him pretty much everything I had.
Mhm.
So what am I supposed to do now? And then Nani smiles and she's like, your mother used to say the same thing. Every time she would finish a song, she would say, that's it. I'm out. Like, I'm dry. And then, like clockwork, she would come up with another one. And then Nani pulls out a box and it has a bunch of old tapes and music that Ria's mom made, and also some of her wedding jewelry. And one of the tapes says for Ria, which
Mhm.
is super cute. And Nani says, like, you are both your mother and your father. Your mom said everything is music, so you need to go out and find it. And so Ria starts listening to her mom's tapes, and like one song is like super mesmerizing, and she starts listening to the outside world like she did when she was a kid.
It's a really well done audio scene because she
Yeah.
has the headphones on
Yep.
with like the cassette player, and then she takes it off, and you can still hear the music being played, but also the outside world sound, and you just that scene. I'm like, oh, this people made this movie with love.
Yeah, no, it's done really well, and like the heart touching moments are done really well,
Mhm.
also, and they're acted well. Cool. So it's a new day, and Molly Watson and I keep writing Ginny. I just could not remember her name. Ginger. They come by Ria's house, and the dad's like, "What are you doing here?"
She's grounded.
Yeah, and they're like, "Well, you said she couldn't leave. You never said we couldn't come over." So they come in, and they have a bunch of equipment.
Lawyer.
Yeah, lawyered. So he lets them in, like whatever. And they bring in a bunch of equipment. It's DJing equipment. Woohoo! And Rhea like didn't even know they were coming.
Mhm.
Because at first I'm like, oh, Rhea probably said, hey guys, can you help me out? But that literally didn't happen. They decided, you know what, we're gonna help Rhea become a DJ.
Yeah.
Everyone's decided, like, you know what, fuck Max, Rhea, you should just do this by yourself because you're really good at it, and show that punk what's up. Like,
She was that British boy.
yeah. Um, So Rhea's like, where did you get all of this? And Molly's like, my dad is a true Gen Xer. There isn't a hobby he hasn't picked up and dropped.
What a good slam on the generation.
My parents are Gen Xers, and they definitely have had a lot of hobbies. Not to that extent,
Mm.
but they do like their little hobbies, so that's fun. And Rhea's like, why did you bring it? And they're like, oh, yeah, we entered the contest for you. We like submitted one of your mixtapes, the one that really slaps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't get to hear that one,
No,
but
we don't.
we know that it really slaps. And they allow just this dinner music to be
Yeah.
accepted. So maybe,
It must be good.
or there must be like not enough people who want to be in there.
Well, I think like as she started working with Max, she started like amping up her
Yeah.
dinner
We get to
mixes.
hear about that, yeah.
Yeah. So they submitted one of those. And she's like, guys, I can't enter this contest. I can't even leave my house because she's grounded for 2 months. And then Nani like overhears and she's like, so will this contest mean she's playing for a lot of people? And they're like, yeah, it's pretty big. And they're like, okay, yep, I'm gonna make that work.
Well, I'll pull the strings I need to pull.
Yeah, Nani's like, I'm gonna get us a day off and we're gonna do it. And Rio's like, I don't know. And then Ginger's like, watch this. And she shows a video of Max from like a live stream or something he did where he's like hyping himself up. He's like, I'm definitely gonna win this contest. And it's with the song that Rhea made.
Yep.
So he's like, yo, I'm gonna win. And Rhea's like, hell nah, I'm in.
Yeah. I can't do it for myself, but I can do it for revenge.
Yeah, revenge, just to show him that I'm better than him,
Hmm.
you know? I can beat you with my own song.
Which ends up in like a week when the competition happens, because it happens in a
Yeah,
week.
it literally happens in a week.
She's like, no, actually, I'm doing it for myself. But right now, I feel like she's doing it to spite.
Yeah, that was just like the extra edge she needed.
Mm,
All right, so now it's another montage. This is the third one that we see, but it's montages that progress the plot.
yeah.
So that's good. It's not like Stuck in the Suburbs that don't progress the plot.
There's just montages of flashbacks.
Yeah. No, this is montages of new scenes that progress the plot. So the friends go out, and they start like recording some noises, like a guy banging on some like buckets to make a song and some like jump roping. And she's like, this is so cool. I can use this in my song of just like everyday noises because music is in everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What? That's what her mother used to say.
And she like records some of the kitchen sounds and whatever. And they're like, okay, you need to have a DJ name. And one of the names that Molly suggests is DJ Algo Rhythm, which I appreciate.
I think it's pretty bad, honestly.
It's so good though, Algorithm. Come on, it's too clever to not use.
As clever as it just dumb.
And Rhea says, I'm just gonna go with Rhea because that's my name, and I don't need like a flashy DJ name. And Ginger goes, can I at least capitalize it? Rhea's like, yeah, which I think is a good choice.
It's funny because the only time we ever see it written out is on this stage where literally all of them in all caps anyways.
Yeah. So it literally didn't matter.
Yeah.
Then we see Max watching a video of Ginger saying, like, hey, remember when I said Max was cool? Well, just kidding. He sucks. I'm
Wow.
rooting for
She
Rhea.
she does not say that.
No,
We
she
got to be
doesn't.
clear.
No, no, no.
She does not belittle Max at all,
She does it
which
in
is
a smart
probably
way.
the right thing.
Because then he would just say, well, it's because you bashed me online. No, she says, like, I know before I was rooting for DJ Union Max, but now I'm rooting for Rhea.
Mhm.
Like, Rhea's entering the contest and she's going to kill it. So come watch. And
I
Max
was already
watches.
sold out.
Yeah. And then Max watches and he's like, oh my God, she's entering the contest. Oh no. He better be scared. Okay. So then we have some like prep stuff for the contest. We get a scene where Rhea's dad comes in and asks her about her DJing. And she's like, oh yeah, here it is. And he's like, wow, it's really good. And it's just kind of an awkward, like they haven't completely
Mended that
mended. Yeah,
relationship.
no.
No.
He's like, hey, don't stay up too late. So yeah, it's just awkward. You can tell. Okay, so then Rhea's scrolling on her phone and she sees Max shouting out the contest again, and the contest is in 2 days, and he's like, "Come see your boy," and she rolls her eyes. It's like whatever.
This is when I think she got over him.
Yeah. And so then she does more DJing, and she uses her mom's voice for the mix,
Yeah.
one of her tapes. And Nani comes in, and Rhea's like, "Come here, you want to hear it? Like it's just about done." And Nani hears the mom's vocals and she says, you brought her back. It's really cute. And they share that moment.
Music has power.
It does. It really does. And then Nani goes, what are you going to call the song? And Rhea says she's going to say, it's all music, which is what the mom used to say. So that's cute. And she's like, get ready for tonight. So the contest is tonight. And Rhea wears her mom's jewelry too. So
Yeah.
it's like really a dedication to her mom.
Oh, absolutely. She's playing the cassette that says for Rhea.
Yeah, she does. She uses the tape that says for Rhea. Cool. So then we see the restaurant, and Dad calls Nani while like the restaurant is super busy, and he says on the phone, I know I said you could have the night off, but it's super busy, so I need you and Rhea both here. Again, he's making them work on their day off, which you just can't do. You can call an ass, but you can't force them.
Dependency problem.
Yeah, he really does. And Nani goes, oh no, we're still running errands and now we're stuck on the subway. And he's like, which subway? And she goes, who knows?
Can't hear you. Bye.
Well, no, then no, you're missing the best line of the whole movie. The dad says, what am I going to do without you and Rhea? And Nani goes, yeah, what are you going to do? You're going to have to face the eventuality of not being able to rely on your daughter and mother-in-law to run your business for you. Besides, you gave us the night off, so no take-backs.
Just absolutely owned.
Yeah.
You needed to hear it.
She's like, you can't rely on us forever. Like, you need to start figuring this shit out without relying too heavily on
And eventually he's able to just leave the restaurant to go.
I know, he does leave the restaurant. What the hell? It's like super busy.
So I think he's overrating the difficulty.
I think he's just letting his restaurant go up in flames for a night.
Yeah.
So he can go yell at his daughter, but whatever. All right, so then they show up at the contest and they look bomb as hell. Like Rhea and Nani come in and
super sparkly.
Yeah, they're like super sparkly and they look beautiful. And Rhea's like, I'm ready. And Nani's like, you were born ready.
She's a performer.
Yeah. All right, so then we get to meet the judges of the contest. One of them is the DJ Lucas Sand. And we learned that the contest is rated based on originality and skill. And also there's like an applause meter.
We don't actually care about these rating systems, but they'll constantly show the applause meter to see how good someone's doing. I I don't trust that. I think it's rigged.
Well, yeah, applause meters I feel like are never actually true. But I mean, I feel like it's good to know a little bit the logistics of how the
Yeah,
contest works. So that's
we
good.
don't see them graded on it, is what I'm
Well, then the
saying.
judges just like talk amongst themselves. It's like the Camp Rock Final Gem contest where the judges just go and deliberate.
They go whisper, whisper, whisper. Okay, you win.
Yeah. All right. So then Rhea goes, she could use some of her mom's strength right now. And Nani's like, you know, you do have it. Like, you're awesome. So Nani's being cool. And also all of her friends are there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah. All right. So now they're backstage and Rhea runs into Max backstage. And Max goes, hey, I know you're still mad at me and I get it. Like, I never meant to offend you.
Bad apology, but not the
Yeah.
worst apology.
Yeah. And Rhea's like, Max, this isn't about you. It's about me, and I'm here to make music. And Max goes, I respect that. And Rhea goes, and I don't care.
Ooh,
Oh,
ooh.
she's
Just
like, I
completely
literally don't
stole
care.
any moment from him. It's good.
Yeah, because he's probably coming up to like try and mess with her a little bit.
No, I think he's doing that because he does feel guilty about it.
He does feel a little guilty, but also he's like, I know you're just kind of here to show me up a little bit. And she goes, nope, I literally don't care about you anymore. So it just takes away that little dignity too from
I
him.
think what
Not that
he's
he had
trying to
it.
do is he feels guilty about the situation and is trying to get that sitcom ending where everything turns out okay.
Yeah. Where you
And
apologize and they accept it and it's better.
but
And
that's
she's
not
like,
what she's gonna give him because he doesn't deserve it.
he doesn't deserve it. She's like, I literally just don't care about you
She's
anymore.
like, no, I'm like, we're done.
We're done. I'm here because I like making music. So
Mhm.
whatever. So good for Rhea. Okay, so now we're at the first round of the competition, and also Naomi the teacher showed up too. So that's fun. Okay, so we see the other DJs. Here are their DJ names. There's Surefire Disco,
Kind of a mediocre name.
DJ Len Cool. I don't like that one.
Len Cool, more like Len Uncool.
Lavender Bear.
Best name.
Banger
Better than
name.
Rhea, better than DJ Union Max.
And it's a guy too. It's not just like a girl that's like, ooh, lavender. Like, nah.
Lavender Bear's
Bear.
a good name. I
It's
could
a
see
cool
an
name.
artist making like a top 40 hit
Hell
under the
yeah.
name Lavender Bear.
There's Colossus Creation.
It's okay.
Later they say the name Ultra Sign, but we never actually see them perform. But Ultra Sign is in there. And then of course we have DJ Union Max and Rhea. So that is 7 people that were in the competition.
Can you guess who the final 2 are gonna be?
Yeah, so the way they do this is kind of weird. So they're all up on stage, and the judge is like, all right, so now we have to knock some people out. First, he knocks out Ultrasign, Lavender Bear, and Colossus Creation. And I'm like, justice for Lavender Bear. But whatever. So now
Lavender
there's.
Bear killed it.
He killed it, which actually, like, he had the least audience reaction out of all of them, which is a bummer. But then he knocks out DJ Len Cool and Surefire Disco literally right after that. So, like, why didn't he just do it all at once? Why didn't he just say in our
Maybe
2
a
finals?
tiny bit of Ryan Seacrest on American Idol, but not full Ryan Seacrest on American Idol.
Instead of just saying, like, okay, here's the 2 people that are moving on to the final, he has to read off all the loser names.
Well, maybe it's giving them a chance to like get some recognition at the end.
Maybe. But what he should have done is says, these 2 are moving on. Let's give a hand to all of the other people, but whatever. So it's kind of dumb.
It's dumb, but it's very minor.
I don't get why he got rid of 3 of them just to get rid of 2 of them right after.
No, it feels like they were initially intending for that to maybe have a break in between it, but
Yeah.
then nothing happened.
No. Like maybe a second round, but then they're like, fuck, it's like the end of the movie. We
Yeah.
gotta just go. All right, so our final 2 are Max and Rhea, because of course it is.
Man, first off, that's got to be such a ego boost for Rhea because she made the 2 songs They're
I
there.
yeah, she's like, I'm fucking good at this because she is.
Hmm.
All right, so then Ginger starts like live streaming with Rhea backstage, and we see Rohan watching it at the restaurant, and of course the dad sees it, and he's like, "What? Where's Rhea?" And then he storms out, and Rohan tries to stop him, but he can't. So they both end up leaving,
Yep.
and we see them a little later, like they're driving to the contest. So now at the contest, it's time for the final battle. Bow, 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 bow. Max goes first and he plays Feeling Good. Because of course he does.
What other song is he gonna play?
I like
His
so
bad demo song that everyone in the movie said is awful.
yeah, no. I really like when he comes out, there's a really deep voice that goes, DJ Union Max, and it's like the intro. And then it says it again in like another radio voice, like DJ Union Max.
I think DJs do that from my
They
experience.
like have their little name shout out multiple times
Yeah,
before the song. DJ.
I've seen that.
It's just funny, especially because he's like 15.
Yeah.
Okay. So Rhea is preparing with her mom's songs, and Max is doing the DJ with his dumb little dance moves again, his little flappy bird arms. And Nani yawns during this because he sucks.
Everyone, literally everyone else in the club, other than the gang, is just loving it.
So they're having a good time,
And
except
they're
for
yawning, which, like, what does that say on Ray, honestly? That her friends don't like her music?
they can't support
I know.
him.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm being facetious.
Even though the song is really good because Rhea made it, of course, but they're like, we're not going to support him at all.
Hmm.
All right, so now it's time for Rhea. And they like, this is very dramatic. When she comes out, it's like at least I would say 2 minutes of like really slow music, dramatic, her
Not
stepping
two
out.
minutes.
It's really long. It feels really long. And she's like taking a deep breath, and everyone's watching her, and it's building for effect, right? This is gonna be a big deal. So the music starts really slow with some like raindrops and other noises, and they start coming together, and everyone's like really vibing with it, and especially like Rhea. And then it goes, it's all music, and the beat drops, and it fucking slaps.
Yeah.
This
Where does it
sucks.
rank?
I don't know.
You never rank these songs.
No, I didn't. I probably should, at least this one, and
Yeah.
Feeling Good. But yeah. Then so Rhea starts like dropping the beat. It's super awesome. She does some fire dance moves. I love the dance moves she
Yeah.
does. Like
I'm pretty sure they're taken from Nani's dance in the beginning of the movie, but I don't fully
probably
remember.
inspired by Nani. I really like them because like they're simple, but like she looks good doing
Mhm.
it too.
The whole crowd ends up doing them.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then she uses the tape that says for Rhea, and her mom's voice comes in, and that's when the dad walks into the club and he hears his wife's voice.
Man, what feeling that must be.
Right? You're like dead wife and you hear her singing, and you probably haven't listened to her sing since she died because
Mhm.
he is struggling with his grief. So he goes and walks up by Nani, and like they're having that moment together, and then there's that like bird noise. You remember the bird noise?
It's just like a bird call. Like, obviously
Funny.
the whole point of this song and what she was having her friends doing everything is just recording outside world to put into the music.
Yeah.
So a bird noise makes sense, but it really feels like one of those random call outs silly rap song would have.
Yeah.
It's really funny.
It's awesome.
It reminds me of the Minnesota Lottery commercials.
Yeah, with the loon.
Hmm.
Yeah. So like during the song, the dad is like, he's so proud. He's like, she's amazing. He's like, that's my daughter up there. So he's so proud.
Oh, yeah, the teacher's there.
Yeah. Well, she knows obviously. Like that's his daughter. She's like, shut up, listen. More fire dance moves with everyone dancing with her. Everyone's having a good time. And the applause meter hits the top. With Max, it like almost hit the top, but never quite reached it.
Man, I wonder who's gonna win because of that.
Yeah, with Rhea, it hits the top, bitch. And the dad, like,
Which I feel like the applause meter shouldn't have hit the top because they were all doing the dance move.
I know they weren't really cheering. They were all just kind of vibing and dancing.
So, like, that's what I'm saying. It's rigged.
Well, it hits the top at the end. So they're
Oh,
like
okay.
cheering for her, I think. And then the dad like wipes a tear away because he's so proud of her. He's crying, which I would cry too. I'm such a sucker. If I saw my kid like performing and doing such a good job, I would cry. I'd be so proud. Um, and then Rohan says, "Aw, Dad, it's so nice to see you capable of such growth."
And it's just immediately like, what do you want?
And he's like, "I want my TikTokos," and the dad's like, "Fine, you can have your TikTokos." So the dad's like,
That's
"All
like, I just
right,
had an instant learning.
yeah." He learned that
My
he was
kids
from,
have personalities outside of the restaurant.
yeah, and it's probably to him like coming to terms with his grief.
Yeah.
He hurt his wife, and he's like, "I need to let these guys be free and express themselves with the DJing and the TikTokos."
The only two ways you can express
Yeah.
yourself.
All right, so now it's time to crown a winner, and DJ Lucas Scent comes up to announce the winner. And you pointed this out, which I thought was funny. Like everyone on stage is the same height.
It's like really weird because you have two like 15-year-olds,
Yeah,
and then you got like
the host
the
and
host and
DJ.
DJ Lucas that, and they're all like the same height, and they're just the demographics say they shouldn't be, and it's just kind of weird.
Pretty funny. All right. So then the winner of the contest gets like a state of the art DJ setup, and I think they mentioned earlier they get like some mentoring
Yeah, they get
session.
a session with Lucas Sent.
Yeah, so that's cool. It's a cool
You
prize.
think Lucas Sent's his real name?
Yeah,
I don't. I think his first name's Luca, and then he put Sent.
I think his first name is Lucas. He like made it sound
Luca
cool.
is a name.
It is,
Yeah.
but the way they spelled it,
Luka?
yeah,
Yeah.
I would think it's usually spelled Luca,
No, like
like the Pixar movie.
there it's different from what like part of Europe the name comes from,
Mm.
but like one of the biggest basketball players in the world, Luka Doncic, is Luka.
Oh,
Like
okay.
I think the spelling Luka might be more popular than Luca.
What? Pixar lied?
No, Pixar never claimed it was lying.
They did. They told me. All right, so then they announced the winner, and the winner's Rhea. The
Whoa.
confetti comes down, and Max looks so disappointed.
He's like, man, I lost to her twice.
He honestly looks shocked that he didn't win,
I mean,
but
he was riding on coattails the whole
which
way.
maybe he is a little shocked because he's
He's like,
like,
I did so many arm pumps.
he did so many arm pumps, and like, I mentored her. Why is she better than me? And she's
Mm-hmm.
like, sorry, dude, she just has the raw talent that you don't have. So,
Get good.
yay, she won. So backstage, Rhea like hugs Nani, and she asks Dad if she's grounded, and Dad goes, "No, you're not grounded. You were amazing out there. So yay."
Ungrounded.
Ungrounded. So this is where Dad is like
Redeemed.
redeemed enough. I still don't like that he was trying to make them come in on their days off again.
It's really he was having issues that he needed to work through, and he's starting to work through them.
Yeah.
I don't like saying he's incapable of redemption.
He is definitely at the very least on the road to redemption, if not like pretty redeemed now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. So then all the fans want to meet Rhea, and so she starts like signing autographs and taking pictures. And this is the last time we see Max. She sees Max like across the way through the fans, and he just kind of like gives a half smile and a nod and then walks away, which is perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's no, hey, you were really good out there. Like Camp Rock does that with Tess, where she's like, you guys were really good. Like I'm sorry, I was such a bitch. Like, it's none of that cheesy bullshit. It's Max just like
Knowing he's lost.
knowing he lost and has to like
Live to accept
he has
it.
to do some like
Soul searching.
some soul searching.
Yeah.
He knows he fucked up and has to deal with like she was better than me. I need to just work on myself. And yeah.
Honestly, he may have been lying to himself the whole time with feeling good and saying like, "No, I did more contributions than her." Like,
yeah, I'm the DJ. It was my
and
hobby.
this might be the moment. So yeah, DJ Union Max, he's just the whole time with feeling good is thinking probably to himself, self-justifying by saying he did most of the work. And this is the point where he can't use that excuse anymore.
Yeah.
Because obviously she did better than him.
Yeah. She did better than him than like the one that they collabed on.
Yeah.
which is gotta be a gut punch.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, no, I really just wasn't as good
She
as you.
alone was better than the two of us together.
Yeah.
And I didn't arm pump the crowd enough.
He should have done more flail army
Yeah.
movements. Yeah.
Just do a Loretta Modern flip.
Yeah. Do like 3 backflips and you'll win the crowd over easy.
It's really that simple.
Yeah, that's what Rhea did.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we get our little resolution. So we see the restaurant is like bumping, and the credits kind of scroll on the bottom
Yeah,
too,
it's just like
which is
a mid
fine.
credit roll.
They actually, it still looks really good though. Like the cinematography and the way it's filmed, I really like a lot.
Yeah.
It just looks good.
On Sunday nights, they do DJ nights.
They show the sign outside the restaurant that's like Rhea DJs on Sundays, and they're having like a dance party, and Rhea's DJing with her super cool new equipment.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Ron's got the TikTokos.
yeah, he gets his tacos, and Naomi is there dancing with the dad, and Nani is like dancing and having a good time, and then Molly and Watson have their drone that delivers the dessert, not pizza this time. It delivers the little dessert. And there's like a huge line outside of the restaurant.
Everyone wants to come in for it.
It's basically like a nightclub.
Yeah.
Because Rhea's DJing right now. So
On a school night.
yeah, it's a Sunday. What the heck?
You should do this on
They
Saturdays.
probably should. Or Friday. But so that's it. That's the end of the movie.
That's the movie.
That's
It's good.
It's really good. I really like this one a lot.
Like, I don't remember. It's high in our rankings, and it deserves to be high in our rankings. There are other movies I like more than it.
Yeah.
There's other movies that I like more than it that are better legitimately, like also good movies.
Yeah.
And there are movies that are ironically good that I like more than it.
Yeah, so I think with Spin, it's like we like it because it just genuinely feels like a quality movie.
It's the truth is like, is it the best movie in the world? No.
Oh no, it's still like a kids movie produced by Disney.
Pretty basic.
Yeah, but like it's done well, and I like, that they're showing Indian culture. I like the inclusivity with, they use they them pronouns the one instance, which obviously isn't like
Well,
doing
also,
the
it's such a
most, but
female-led cast and
yeah.
so many people of color in the film.
Yeah.
There's a lot of diversity in it. It's good to just be able to digest all of the different aspects the film has, and it has a story it's trying to tell. It's good.
Yeah. It's Disney Channel taking steps in the right direction. And, while sometimes with these it's like, well, they could have done more, like we gotta acknowledge that it's in the right direction for sure. Like nothing in this movie is problematic. They're starting to be more inclusive with casting and the writing. So that's all good to see.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. Final Jank House ranking for this movie was 13. So
Very high.
very high. Almost
Just out of the
10.
top 10.
Yep.
And like,
Benji.
we used to have it even higher. It slowly like would phase down the further we got away from it.
Yeah, but still obviously really high. Benji, you have it at 30. What the heck?
Yeah, I maybe didn't remember it as well.
I have it at 27, so I'm the same way. Where
I like the movies that I have above it, but it is a good movie.
Yeah, we both have it in A tier, which I agree with. It's
I
definitely
agree
an
in A
A
tier.
movie. It's not an S movie. It's an A movie.
I would agree with that.
Yeah. Cool. So that was Finn. Thank you guys for listening to our podcast.
Yeah, we love to ramble on, so thank you for listening. If you got into this part of listening, maybe no one has.
Yeah. If these are too long, sorry about it. Like, skip around if you want, but
we don't take offense to how you do about it. If you have any complaints, email us. That's what we're asking, and we'll read it, and it'll take longer.
We're gonna talk as long as we want. Because it's our podcast. All right.
So,
should we spin the wheel?
With that, I think it is time to spin the wheel. But before we spin the wheel...
Prediction time?
I'll go with what I predicted at the beginning of this movie. We're going to get Christmas again.
That'd be fun. We're going to get Miracle in Lane 2.
Oh, very similar movies that we picked.
All right, spinning time.
Drum roll.
Oh my god, it's Miracle on Lane 2. Yes,
No.
it is.
No.
Dollar.
I owe you a dollar.
You owe me the
I owe you a dollar.
I can't believe I got it right. There's a lot of movies.
There's a lot of like I was assuming we wouldn't get one right until like halfway through this.
Yeah,
Wow.
I got it. Oh, that feels good.
Wow.
I'm like on
Okay.
top of the world now.
Okay. Well, we haven't really talked about Miracle in Lane 2 and its quality about that, but
This was another one we watched pretty late, so it's relatively fresh on my mind of what happened in that movie. I remember liking it.
I remember it feeling mixed about it.
Yeah.
So if you want to hear about the mixed feelings, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, tune in 2 weeks when we talk about Miracle Lane 2. Find us on social media, mainly TikTok. It's just the DCOM duo.
But it has underscores in it on that one.
Ooh. And then email us at the dcomduo@gmail.com.
That one doesn't have underscores.
We're also on YouTube. Spotify has a feature you can comment. We're also on Anchor. So yeah, reach out to us if you feel like it. We would love to hear from you. And thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you. Take care.
Bye. Scenes from our next episode.
I think Frankie Muniz should stay away from cars.
Dad, I'm so mad you missed my baseball game for my disabled brother.
Man, not sure seems like a rules violation.
Dad, now I'm worried about the safety of my disabled brother.
Wait, is this wheelchair heaven?
I forgot about wheelchair heaven.
There's literally just wheelchair heaven. Also, why is there just a random sports car driver talking to me? Is he real or am I imagining this?
It's real. Cut.